15th of May. Well, Gregory, another fine morning.
You always know it's Friday because you're late.
I'm good. It's not 9 o'clock
It's already
yet.
time for this.
All right, good.
Have a great weekend, Lee.
Have a good weekend.
We'll chat to you Monday,
Good
right?
luck.
Okay, have a good week. Okay, it is Friday's 9 till noon show, and it is 9 o'clock. Our Friday panel will be joining us very shortly. But first, let's get a news update at 9 o'clock, and it is over to Donald Kavanagh. Good morning, Donald.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. Pope Leo XIV will lead his first papal mass since his election this morning in the Sistine Chapel. He was greeted by cheering crowds in Vatican City last evening. The 69-year-old took a moment in his first speech to pay tribute to his predecessor, Pope Francis. However, broadcaster Father Brian Darcy has questioned the new Pope's decision not to emulate his predecessor in terms of what he wore when he went onto the balcony in St. Peter's.
The wee bit that I didn't like, I'd have to say, was him dressing up in such triumphal stoles, etc., to make the announcement rather than the plain white garment of Francis. Perhaps he showed a little favouritism for this kind of regal liturgy, which I'm not sure is exactly what we need. But we'll give him a chance and see what happens. And even if Jesus came today, he wouldn't make a good Pope because there'd be enough of us there to criticise him.
Sinn Féin's housing spokesperson is calling for government clarity on the status of the purchase of 3,000 affordable homes nationwide that were sanctioned in February, some of them in Donegal. He says the funding to acquire the units was provisionally approved by Cabinet, but in the case of some of them, the final go-ahead still hasn't been given. Ono Bryn challenged Taoiseach Simon Harris, who in turn promised to raise the issue with the Housing Minister James Brown.
I have spoken to other builders in Donegal and elsewhere who have completed projects, homes built and empty, but they can't be occupied because the funding has yet to be approved. Can you tell us when all of the approvals for the 3,000 units that received financial sanction in Cabinet in February will be finalised and communicated to the HBs and the councils?
So we are living through a housing emergency and we do need to see these projects move, so I'll ask the Minister to come back to you on the specifics.
The state's new home and replacement therapy scheme is asking pharmacists to enter into a loss-making service. That's according to Donegal-based IPU President Tom Murray, who's warning many aren't signing up to the service. Free HRT is due to be introduced from the 1st of June, with pharmacies being offered incentives of €5 per distribution, as well as a one-off grant. However, Mr Murray says it won't cover costs.
What the state is asking me to do is to take on another loss-making service on behalf of the state, to lose that private patient, which is already subsidising the 87%, to get a 6-week delay in payment, to pay withholding tax on that payment, and also to be reimbursed at less than the cost price of the medicine.
And the Teachers Union of Ireland is recommending its members accept new proposals aimed at supporting the rollout of senior cycle reform. It follows detailed negotiations with the Department of Education. Teachers had raised concerns about the addition of project work in the planned changes and the role of AI. TUI President David Waters says they put in a detailed submission about what was needed in order to allow for the reform.
A lot of what we have put in has now been addressed, such as reviews for subject, where they're going to be now the new minimum 40% additional assessment component. They will be reviewed for their viability. There'll be time audit to see if it's actually possible to do this kind of coursework. There'll now be 1-year CIDs, or contract of indefinite durations, to address teacher supply in classrooms.
And the weather forecast largely dry with long spells of sunshine today. Some patchy cloud developing through the day. That'll bring a chance of a few showers. Top temperature 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. Cooler near some coastal areas in a light southerly or variable breeze. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 10 o'clock. In the interim, check all the day's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
Ever considered what a farmer, a retailer and an ice cream van owner have in common? They all rely on this planet. Every business does. That's why AIB is here to help. Our Green Living Hub has the practical knowledge and support businesses need to become more sustainable. Search AIB Green Business to find out more. AIB, for the life you're after. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest, the 9 to noon show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. It is Friday, the 9th of May, 2025. I do hope you're very well indeed. You're very welcome along to today's edition of the 9 till noon show. And as always on a Friday, we have a Friday panel. I'll introduce them to you very, very shortly. We're going to be talking some of the big issues of the day and of the week. We want your views, of course, throughout the course of the next hour. 086 60 25,000, your WhatsApps and texts to that number. 07491 25000 if you wish to give us a call, or email comments at highlandradio.com. And you can watch today's show as always on YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, on our Facebook pages and on the X platform. Let's say good morning, Harry Walsh. Hiya, Harry. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Very, very good. Former deputy editor at the Donegal News. In studio with me, I have Christy Galligan, former Garda Sergeant. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Greg.
And also joining us is Brendan Byrne, CEO of Irish Fish Processors and Exporters Association. Hi, Brendan.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic and great to have you with us. Pope Leo will lead his first Holy Mass as pontiff this morning after already paying a surprise visit to see staff at his former residence. Robert Prevost's life changed forever on Thursday when he went from being one of 252 cardinals to the first ever American Pope. He was chosen after just 4 rounds of voting in the Sistine Chapel, a conclave that lasted 25 hours. The 69-year-old's viewed as a continuity candidate to the legacy of Pope Francis when it comes to Catholic social teaching, and is understood to have shared Francis's views on migrants, the poor and the environment. Brendan Byrne, I'll start with you. Do you have an opinion on what direction he will or should lead the church?
Well, the first thing you look at when a Pope is elected, you look at the name that he takes. And he has taken Leo. So Leo the 13th was the workers' Pope, and the Pope that more than any other leader of his time, bearing in mind he was elected in 1878 and was in the papacy until 1903, but he championed workers' rights, he recognised trade unions at a time when no one was doing that globally. So I think that's a statement in itself. And if you look at our new Pope, Pope Leo the 14th, he's very much into partnership and co-responsibility. And that's what we need in the church. The church isn't from the top up, it's from the bottom. It should be from the bottom up rather than the top down. So if he continues on that synodality that he has practiced and preached all throughout his life, then this is exactly what the church needs. And I think, as you said at the outset, he is a continuity candidate. He's a candidate also that has come up through the ranks very quickly. He was a bishop until 2014. And then he became a cardinal in 22, I think. So he has been a fast mover within the ranks. But I think the fact that he's an American and he's the first English-speaking pope in centuries is also positive. So
it's
I
quite
would
interesting.
have great faith in him.
He spoke Spanish, Latin, and Italian. And albeit
7 languages.
But he never spoke any English, albeit he's the first.
Well,
that being
I
his
think
first
there's
language.
procedure at the Urbi et Orbi address. It has to be in Latin because you're the Bishop of Rome as well as being the Pope of the Catholic Church.
Christy Galligan in studio with me here. What's your take on it, if you have one?
Well, listening to all of the media reports in relation to who could have been elected Pope, I mean, it caught everybody by surprise, but I'm glad to see Prevost because he's challenged, which I'm happy to see, challenge Trump in America and Vance in relation to their attitudes towards immigration and all of those policies there. And that's a very positive thing. I think you need to have a countermeasure to what Trump or Hegseth or Vance in America are doing right now at this present moment in time. And I think if he's taking up the mantle of Pope Francis, which he probably is, I think he's the happy medium between the conservative and liberals at the present moment in time, and that's what they want, that stability in relation to most things diplomatically and worldwide, where we have serious conflicts in Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan and other places in the world. And I think he's a peacemaker, and he talked about peace several times during his Urbi et Orbi yesterday, and that's a very positive thing for me. And I think it's very positive things for the 1.5 billion people, Catholics all around the world.
And just 69 too, so
69.
He has, if he's continues to enjoy good health, and he does look healthy, he could have quite a long tenure.
He could have quite a long tenure, and hopefully it's one that's positive. Now, there is as like everything else in the papacy, there is a little bit of background then too, where the relation to where he oversaw or didn't oversee.
Well, there's question marks over
the
the
sexual assaults.
action he did or
didn't take at the time. So that's one of the things, and I think the church is trying to move on from that and trying to say, hands up here, we got it wrong here, and hopefully they can move on from that.
Well, you can use that to your advantage too. That sounds terrible given the subject matter, but how he speaks going forward. Harry Walsh, do you have a view? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, yes, Greg. Just listening to Archbishop Martin yesterday evening, he described him being a friend of Ireland and calm, affable and approachable. And everybody's been scurrying this last 12, 18 hours trying to figure out who this man is and get a wee bit of background and what have you. But he seems to have wide experience. As I say, he's the first English speaker in a long, long time, brought up in North America, spent a lot of time in Peru and the last 2 years in Rome. So he's known seemingly as a very good listener, and he is a canon lawyer. So he does seem to have a lot of stuff on his side. He's known as a builder of bridges, and so hopefully the Catholic Church is going through a crisis at the moment. One of many crises. So hopefully he'll be a firm hand on the rudder and somebody that'll point us in the right direction in the coming years.
There's always a Donegal connection. We haven't quite established it yet, but at some point there's no doubt.
Well, funny, the very fact he was in Peru, the Diocese of Portfolio sent priests to Peru in the 80s and 90s.
Don't I need something a bit stronger than that?
It's early yet. Give us an hour.
It will happen. It's just a case of what exactly we find. Okay. Any views on the new Pope, listeners? 08660 25,000. Donegal County Council confirmed yesterday that a planning application for an iPass centre at the Strand Hotel in Ballyliffin has been refused, much to the relief of locals. It was just one of over a dozen such applications this year which have or are being considered by the council. Many have spoken out about the creation of iPass centres in the county, with concerns ranging from safety to inadequate local resources. I'll stay with you if that's all right, Harry. Do you have a view on this county's capacity to host more refugees or asylum seekers?
My mantra, quite simply, would be live and let live, Greg. But that doesn't answer your question. Looking at the figures, I think we're third behind Kerry with the number of refugees and asylum seekers we've taken at this point, all dotted along the western seaboard. And I mean, nearly every town and village in the county has some form of facilities. And as you rightly say, the line being trotted out is inadequate local infrastructure and facilities, and not enough guarding, not enough schools, not enough doctors, etc., etc. So, in particular to Ballyliffin, I don't know enough about it, Greg. But as a county, as I say, I'd be of the mantra: live and let live, and see where that takes us.
What does that mean, though, Harry? Not being.
Oh no, exactly. There's room. I mean, there's room to take people in. I was lucky enough to live and work in America and Australia as a younger man, albeit English speaking, etc., etc. But I was taken in with open arms in these countries, and I know we're not. It's not like for like as an example, but within reason, these people are coming from many of them come from war-torn countries. And I know there's narratives out there that some of them aren't desirables and what have you. But looking at it as a whole, I think we have to be Christian about this and try and help these people out where possible.
And I'm not in any way being argumentative, Harry, but I must ask, as others might ask, if a house next door to you was an application went in to convert it to house 20 iPass applicant, would your view be the same if they were to move into a house next door to you?
Yeah, that's a good question, Greg. I don't know, but I don't have to go too far away from where I'm living now at the moment to have foreign nationals, effectively on our doorstep within a mile as both ways. So they're not a million miles away. But I do know what you're saying, and that's very simplistic. My answer to say live and let live, but. So I know where you're coming from. You're obviously you've got to try and get every side of the story.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you're on as a guest. It's just that because obviously all of our opinions kind of feed into policy to some extent. So everyone's individual
exactly.
feeling
And
is
it's not a
is
black and white
important.
issue, Greg. There's a whole pile of grey in there. I don't think there's a right answer either side of the divide. If you say let everybody in, that's there'll be dissension to that. If you say let nobody in, there'll be dissension to that. So I do accept there's a whole massive grey in the middle somewhere.
But I mean, as you
I'd be in the middle.
say, and maybe the answer is within your answer to some extent as well. I mean, you're able to highlight the counties that have taken the majority of the greatest proportion, and you go to the sunny suburbs of the leafy suburbs of Dublin, you won't see any applications for the conversion of premises into iPass centres, and I think that's what irks some.
True, Greg. And I was when yesterday evening I looked up some of the figures, and I'm surprised to see Monaghan's got very, very few. And yet I've read in recent days that a couple of businessmen in Monaghan have made an awful lot of money out of these centres, but they've obviously they haven't put them on their own doorstep. So that answers your question.
There's 5 applications.
And what have you.
5 applications from one Monaghan-based company for iPass centres in Donegal, which is quite remarkable. Christy Galligan in studio with me. What's your take on it?
Sadly, we saw the demonstrations there at the weekend. I know everybody has a right to protest in relation to pro and anti-immigration in this country, and there's 320 sites, iPass sites nationwide in this country, 4 in Donegal alone. 33,000 people have been accommodated, and I think we're doing very well in relation to accommodating people who seek asylum in this country. The big issues here, we had a concerns here recently, and even in Letterkenny, outside Letterkenny, where an application was made for an iPass centre to convert it into an iPass centre, and the locals demonstrated, and I think it's now in the back burner. As far as I know, I'm not aware, but I think it's on the back burner. And that's the concerns for a lot of people, that you have people from different identities, different religions, from different parts of the world, all grouped into, say, one area or one place. As I agree with Harry, the infrastructure may not be there, the services may not be there. It puts a strain on all of these services. And how do we accommodate those people? How do we integrate with them, or they integrate with us? And that is the biggest problem that we have. I think we have to be very careful too, because we are a country of immigrants ourselves. We've been all over the world, and sometimes we feel that the numbers that are coming into this country and the amount of money that's been paid, I think, for accommodation just for asylum seekers alone is over 1 billion this year, and the cost. Can
I just say something that's conversely to that? Because often the reason is given that we travel all over the world, and we do, and I'm not taking a position on this. It's to tease out the conversation. The overwhelming majority of those coming into the country are coming in on work visas. They're coming from India, Brazil, and elsewhere, working in our health service. They're working in our hospitals. They're paying tax and what have you. iPass centres aren't actually for those people who would be the better analogy to the Irish working around the place. We're talking large groups of people, families, but primarily young men coming from countries and then being placed in grouped accommodation in rural areas of Donegal. Do you believe that we need to look at that, or do you believe we need to do our bit? Or
I think we need to look at it holistically. We need to look at it in totality right around the country, because the imposition of placing people without proper consultation with the local people, either through the councils or whatever, or with the local people in general. And then there you have to see the demonstrations that come from those iPass centres, or the rumours of iPass centres being set up in certain localities. And what happens then? You get the mob rule and you get the extremists coming out. We don't want to see that. We definitely don't want to see it in Donegal.
But in Ballyliffin, it was a majority of local business people, local concerned. There was no mob rule.
No, I know.
Whether if others wanted to take an interest in that, this was a community.
This is a small community. Ballyliffin is a small community, as you know well, Greg. Like we both know it fairly well at this stage. But it's a small, very, very small community, and the services wouldn't be there for those iPass centres or for accommodating in iPass centres. They need to be in large areas. As you say, and quite rightly so, you'll very rarely see them in the suburbs of Dublin, but they seem to be bypassed and just lumped on the people in country and rural areas where the services are not available. I think they have to look at that again, and I think, there is another issue I have seen over the years as well, is the vetting of these people that are coming into the country that are not properly vetted.
But you can't vet someone without documentation.
Well, that's the problem. At the present moment in time, somebody claims asylum, then you have to process that asylum, and you wait on their bona fides, whether they came through another country, transited through another European country, or from abroad, directly from abroad. So, and we have seen through the Minister for Justice that there are percentages in relation to the number of people coming in here who are genuine people, who are genuinely seeking, as opposed to those who are using the asylum system for their own benefit or maybe for nefarious reasons, but one way or the other. That, there has to be a balance there somewhere.
And I mean, like, I do understand how people need to be careful with the language, but it's the government themselves that says the majority are economic migrants.
Yeah.
It's not a secret. It's the state itself, the leaders of the state that are stating this.
And looking at the new draft bill for in relation to immigration as well, where they're trying to now process people within 3 months, and there are people being deported, but at great cost again to the taxpayer when you think of the number of people that are being,
Okay, I'll come back to you, Brendan Byrne. What's your view?
Well, both you and I, Greg, had a discussion on this 2 years ago, and I think on that occasion we predicted where we would end up with where we now are, where people would be on the streets. When you have the absence of policy and how we're catering for these asylum seekers at the minute is driven on commercial decisions and reactionary, the absence of policy, this is what's going to happen. So the first thing that this country needs is a proper, fully integrated immigration policy. And we're starting into a cycle, as I see it, of 30 years of mass immigration from Central Africa, North Africa, right across the Middle East. This is the start of a 30-year cycle where you will see people coming into Europe. We need to get real about this. So we need to have the infrastructure of state. The question you asked in terms of all this objection to the IPAS centres, everyone has the right to object. And when you have, I suppose, the primary source of a lot of information being social media, there's an absence of balance. So there's an awful lot of fear within our communities as to what's going into their respective areas and what exactly is involved. So we have no policy here. The greatest fear that communities have is, well, who exactly is coming in here? And the answer to that is no one knows until they arrive.
Well, even after they arrive, no one really knows.
They may not know for months, as Sergeant Gallagher said.
What I don't understand is the connection between businesses with multiple IPAS applications right across the country. Is that at the behest of the government? Are they saying, listen, go and find us properties and come back to us? Are they putting these Section 5s in all over the place, sort of rolling the dice, and then going back to the relevant department and saying, right, we've got these? Like, it's not clear to me what the relationship is between the big businesses involved, the relevant department, and maybe the property owners. How does this all? It's not really clear to me. Is the government saying go and find us places, or are these businesses finding places and then going back to government and saying, look, we've got more space in Donegal? Like, I don't understand how that works. It would be really interesting to find out.
I think it's economic opportunism on the part of a select number of business people. Initially, the government was overwhelmed with the Ukrainian refugees when the war broke out, and from that, then we had more asylum seekers, but in greater number than what we had previously. And a number of people got in on the act, as we would say. And from that, they became extremely wealthy. You see the figures published each year. And so it goes back to the kernel of the problem, and that is we didn't have a proper immigration policy. And I still think we don't have a proper economic, because of one of the issues that's most concerning, and I hear it in the communities, is, well, if we discover someone has a track record, or if they've done something locally, are they still going to stay there? And the answer is more likely they are, because we can't do very much with them until we have policy that would exclude them from the country.
Yeah, it's very nuanced, and everyone, there's lots of different individuals with different backgrounds and all that type of stuff, Christy. But cultural clashes, integration seems to be a particular problem as well, because dependent on where we're from, we have different rules. We see different people in different ways. What you can or can't do might be a little bit different. And I'm not really sure I can think of a fantastic example where integration has been gotten right. I don't think we're doing enough.
Yeah.
What you're seeing is you're seeing certain parts that you have one section of society in another, and there is no. I've seen this before. We'd have seen it in Birmingham or London or Leeds. We're not learning any international lessons here. And I'm not saying about not bringing people in. I'm on about letting people understand each other, learn about each other, integrate better.
And that's what I said. It seems to be panic-driven, this immigration policy. There seems to be panic-driven. Oh my God, look at the numbers coming into the country. Now we have to find them accommodation. Then you have the High Court and the EU courts who waded into this problem in relation to accommodation as well, who've held that there's an obligation to provide people with accommodation once they arrive in this country. Not to provide them just with money alone, but they have to provide them with accommodation. Now that's the standard. And I think the government really haven't stepped up to the mark when it comes to proper accommodation in relation to asylum seekers. And
well, there is none.
There is none at the present moment in time. They've tried to accommodate as many as they could.
When people say, and they're lambasted for saying it, Ireland is full, right? And I'm not going down the line here.
No.
They're not talking about the land.
Yeah.
They're on about the services. The Letterkenny University Hospital is full. My local GP centre is full. I can't get a dental appointment. It's full. I can't get my child into this school. That's what people are saying, but it's weaponized against them to imply that they're saying it's full of people. The services they're saying are full.
Yeah, the services are full, and the problem is, no matter how much money you throw at something, it doesn't fix the problem.
So where are we at? What do we need to do? Do the government need to take Donegal off the table in terms of its capacity to accommodate refugees stroke asylum seekers at this point?
Until they come up with, as I agree with your previous speakers, a proper integrated policy that's put in place that accommodates everybody, but not just in the rural parts of Ireland or the satellite counties along the west coast. They have to look at where the services are and where they can provide those services.
And what is particularly challenging in this situation, Harry, is, and again, I am not saying there aren't elements that get involved in these conversations for their own benefits, but the majority of people went out last weekend for the right reasons as they saw it, whether they were pro or anti. You know what I mean? These were regular people, our friends and neighbours. They weren't, obviously there was some people that came into the county, but that's fine. The problem people feel, Harry, and I wonder what you think about it, is it's about fairness. Right, so let's say just in terms of rental, there's an advantage of €600 per week if you're a Ukrainian in the rental market. We've got people begging every day on Facebook for alternative accommodation whilst their house is getting rebuilt. Yet we're trying to convert 150 bedroomed hotels to accommodate others. It's about sort of fairness. You'll see recently free GP visits for the Roma community was announced by the HSC, and if you can't get a GP appointment for a week in Buncrana, you're looking on going, what? And I think that drives an awful lot of this, Harry. People feel it's unfair, that the cards are stacked against them. Would you sympathise?
Yeah, and an excuse upon that is unfair, Greg, because you're right, and that's what social media is driving a lot of this. As you say, that they're throwing out facts and figures, and they're not fact checked. Some of them aren't fact checked. But you're right. Your basic facts there are correct. Go back earlier on, we mentioned about integrating them into our communities and what have you. Local GA clubs are the nub of most rural communities in the county and indeed the country. They're trying to integrate a lot of these foreign nationals into their respective clubs, but they don't. For starters, they don't speak the language. You get over that, But they don't know whether they're here for a week, a month, or a year, or 10 years. So it's very hard to try and integrate somebody into your community if you don't know they're going to be part of your community this time next week, this time next month. And as Brendan rightly says, until we have some form of formal structure in place, because again, I'm a father of 3 young adults, and if I had a property in town and I was guaranteed getting X amount a week, a month, a year, and going to my bank account, human nature tells you do that. It's quotation marks, it's handy money. And there are a small number of people making handy money, making an awful lot of money, and it's very hard to square that circle. So you're right. People are, you want to go to your doctor and you can't get a doctor's appointment, and yet Mr. X down the road can get an appointment and his family can.
And I think too, what a good example of where people are is, say, for instance, Bundoran.
Yes.
And we'd all know, but I think, Brendan, too, you would know as much as anyone being further south in the county, is that Bundoran, through the boom years, I would say at one point the population was almost 3-1 Eastern Europe to Bundoran people, and no one cared. Everyone got on with it. Now there has been an iPass centre, it seems, that has been identified with a tiny amount of people, but they don't know who they are and they're concerned about it, and it's causing a lot of uncertainty and a furore. But history tells us the people of Bundoran are very open and welcoming, yet, they've been pushed into this situation, and it's hard to speak about it, or it's hard to put your head above the parapet because you might get labelled. And that's the challenge. People want to keep you down by implying that your concerns are racially motivated or something. And the people I know who have concerns are not. They aren't those type of people. Chris, do you want a last word?
Yeah, I think that you're right there, Greg, because people are being categorised now. If you're pro or anti, you're racist, or you're somehow just will be discriminatory against certain groups of people. I don't think there's a vast majority of,
like, I know gay people that were marching last weekend.
Yeah.
And in the counter-protest, they were marching because they had concerns about administration. Yeah. And there was a counter-protest with pride flags waving.
Yeah.
As if that if you were on one side of this argument that you couldn't also be gay.
Oh, yes. I agree with you there. People have a diverse points of view, and they'll either pro or anti, it doesn't matter. But what they're trying to tell I think in both camps is their concerns are real concerns that the inherent problems in relation to immigration haven't been resolved by the central government. Right. And that's the biggest problem
Brendan
we have.
Byrne wanted to come back in there.
Yeah, sorry.
Brendan? No, it's fine.
I think you made a very good point, Greg. Look, we've seen so much migrant activity in different towns and villages throughout Donegal, and by and large it has gone very positively. In fairness, I remember my own village welcoming Ukrainians, and we had social nights and all that. But the reality is this iPass and asylum seekers is where it's going to be for the next 30 years. And until the government come in with a robust approach in order to restore confidence in our communities, this situation is going to get a lot worse very quickly. And I think in order to have the confidence of the people back, we're going to have a zero tolerance. If there are issues found out on anyone, they're on a plane within 48 hours and out. That is the level of measures that I think can restore confidence.
And you can be fair to genuine asylum seekers in that process as well. As harsh as that sounds, you can operate a fair system.
Those that have nothing to fear won't fear that rule. But what I'm trying to pitch is we've got to such a bad juncture that something as draconian as that is going to be needed in order to restore the equilibrium, because there is a very polarized society out there.
Yep, and it's not an easy conversation to have either, if the truth be told. And also, to believe it or not, there are people on the left and right of the political spectrum that don't like these things talked about on media for different reasons. Right, okay, that was the voice and continues to be the voices of Harry Walsh, Brendan Byrne, Christy Galligan. We're going to be talking more issues after we take a break. Stay where you are.
The Letterkenny Motor Show is back, happening Saturday 10th of May from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the ATU campus. See the latest new cars and vans from 11 local dealerships showcasing 20 top motor brands all in one place on one day. Brought to you by your local franchise motor dealers, it's a day to celebrate driving, style and innovation. With entertainment and fun for the whole family, this is one show you don't want to miss. Proudly supported by First Citizen Finance, Letterkenny Chamber, the Society of the Irish Motor Industry and Britain Insurance. Visit letterkennymotorshow.ie for full details.
Celebrate your love at Encourage Hotel, nestled in the heart of Donegal. With breathtaking views of Errigal Mountain and elegant surroundings, our venue offers the perfect setting for your special day. Experience exceptional service and create unforgettable memories. Discover more at encouragehotel.com.
Summer is just around the corner and it's now time to shop for your dream garden furniture at Easy Living Furniture. We've got a huge range of garden furniture and accessories at unbeatable prices. And if that's not enough, we'll throw in free delivery on all garden furniture. Transform your garden or patio for the ultimate al fresco dining experience. Don't miss out. Come in today to grab these incredible deals before they're gone. Only at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link, Derry, Londonderry.
It's a double serving of Donegal versus Armagh this Saturday in the Ulster Finals doubleheader in Clonus. First up at 3 p.m, it's the 2025 Ulster Senior Ladies Football Championship decider. Join me, Oisín Kelly, and former county star and All-Ireland winner Maureen O'Donnell for full live match commentary.
Coverage of Donegal's clash with Armagh in the Ulster Senior Ladies Final is with Henry McGinley and Sons Limited, Milford, Donegal, specialising in structural steelwork, cladding, standing seams and PVC roof systems. Call for a quote on 074 9153 181.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
The time now is 9:35. Our historian in residence, Dr. Joe Kelly, he's got Pope Leo the 14th as far as Cork. I'm presuming he's still endeavouring to get him to the northwest. But Pope Leo the 14th's grandmother, Hannah O'Keefe, was born in Cullen, North Cork, and emigrated to the US in 1910. So we're getting closer, although it couldn't be further away. Right. Hi, Greg. Denmark has a reasonable immigration policy where it puts the needs of its own citizens above those of foreign nationals. Yeah, that speaker is saying that there should be a balance, and correct, he is our government didn't give the defective blockhouse owners their full support. They dragged everything out. Send all these centres to Donegal, but don't help our own people there. No, thank you. So I don't mind people not supporting these centres. I know it's two different scenarios, but that's my view. Did anyone look at Grit Media's list of people and money made? Well, everyone has access to that. You just happen to see it on Gript. It's been published everywhere. The panel is like the same bias 10 years ago. Even the ex-Garda whistleblower John Wilson has spoken and supported the marches. I don't think anyone's been critical of the marches. It's funny, the ears hear sometimes what they want to hear, and I'll try and push past that on this programme. I've talked about issues on this show in Ballyliffin, and at the same time as we're literally having a conversation an hour deep, someone will text in and say, oh, but you won't talk about the situation in Ballyliffin, will you? Hi, Greg. Our councillors are actively colluding in the invasion of Donegal. Shame on them. It's. I don't think that language is fantastic, because I don't think it helps the cause and it makes people sound like they're. But anyway, listen. What the councillors did, they issued a statement saying that Donegal was a welcoming country. They didn't sign opposing the march. That's just been misconstrued over the week, it seems. Greg, these young men coming in, they don't want to work. They're intimidating women and young girls and young boys. The government's giving them handouts, nothing for the Irish person. Right, okay, and more coming in. RTE has asked the European Broadcasting Union for a discussion on Israel's inclusion in the Eurovision Song Contest. Director General Kevin Backhurst has said in a statement, he said, I'm appalled by the ongoing events in the Middle East and by the horrific impact on civilians in Gaza and the fate of Israeli hostages. So, whilst it is a song competition and pales into complete insignificance compared to what's ongoing at the moment, many would see Israel's expulsion as sending a significant message, maybe shaming them on a national stage, international stage, I don't know. With all that in mind, because I find it hard to talk about a song contest in the context of what's going on, but it is relevant too. I'll start with you first, Harry. I don't think I've started with you yet. What approach do you think Ireland should take in this regard, or even the competition? And maybe talk to the wider issues there as well, of course. Feel free to do whatever you want to do.
No problem, Greg. There was a letter, 72 former contestants put in a letter earlier in the week, including their own Charlie McGettigan. And they're advocating that Israel is expelled from this year's competition. And they're arguing that in 2022, Russia was expelled following its invasion of Ukraine. And they're saying it's hypocrisy now is that Israel go in this year, whereas they expelled Russia 2 years ago. And the national broadcaster in Israel, KAN, and they're in this letter, they're saying they're complicit in Israel's genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza. And they're saying that, we all know, unfortunately, what's going on in Israel and Palestine is not, it's horrendous. And you're right, it's just a song contest. And but but maybe you have to start somewhere. Maybe you have to take a stance somewhere, and this is where they feel they have to make the stance. And they're saying there is a history there before with what happened with Russia 2 years ago. So that's the background to it. And as I say, you can't defend what's happening.
I
in
mean, it
Gaza.
is just to the wider point, you know, like we were shocked in the early stages. Well, firstly, of course, we were all absolutely horrified and disgusted and shocked with the October 7th attack. Innocent people torn to bits, hostages taken that remain captive. Absolutely unforgivable. But what followed? And what now has been announced is Israel effectively taking over Gaza indefinitely and herding those in Gaza to the south of the country. And kind of the world watches on, Brendan Byrne. The world watches on, really, if the truth be told, to the point whereby it's kind of third or fourth page in the newspapers. And you know, that's not the editor's choice. It's about, you know, what makes people pick papers up off the shelf as well too. So it's about the public's interest in this.
I think if you look at all the crises that we've seen in our lifetime, I don't think we've ever seen anything of the magnitude of Gaza, where you have 60,000 people murdered by a sovereign state, namely Israel. You have forced famine as we speak on the show in Gaza. Food cannot be sent in there. Medicines cannot be sent in there. There's children looking for cancer care. They can't get out of there. This is genocide. And there's no other words for it. And it doesn't rest easy on me that we're discussing a song contest.
No, and that's why I've kind of tried to...
When we're in the actual real time of, you know, genocide in our lifetime,
but I think
we'll never see it again.
Exactly, and hopefully we don't. But this is the point. And this is where it's insignificant, but significant at the same time. In that, and it was to my point that we watch on as this happens. We are talking about an international event. Let's say it's show jumping or football, whatever it might be. But in this case, it happens to be a song contest, whereby the country that's sponsoring that will be a part of that. And we could be on the stage in front of them, or we could be on the stage after them. And if I was in Gaza and I had access to a television or electricity, which I wouldn't have, and I looked at that, with everything else that's going on to me, it would compound it beyond disbelief. And that's where this silly song contest inserts itself in this wider conversation.
It probably would compound it beyond belief for 5 to 6 seconds until the next explosive goes off from an Israeli army tank or such like. But we must prepare ourselves for a new world. America has gone rogue. That's the facts of the matter. However long Trump will be there, he's no longer going to be the leader of the Western world. And we have real issues that are going to be there in Israel, most likely in Ukraine, or wherever else Russia wants to invade next. And this is the new global dynamic that we're in. And the facts, and we're talking about maybe the European Union afterwards, they have tried their best, but they're powerless, to be fair.
Yeah, and also too in Moscow today we have Russia representing, with China present, the leader of China with the leader of Brazil and other dignitaries as well. That's a big power block. I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Christy. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with everything that Harry said there in relation to the participation of Israel in the Eurovision Song Contest. But we should look back historically at other countries as well. Look at, we had 30 years of violence and war in our own country here, and we where we had the UK in Northern Ireland participating in state collusion and certain things. We never excluded them from the song contest. We have Eastern European countries who are supportive of Russia. Are we going to exclude those? We have even EU ministers, MEPs, who are from certain countries within the EU who are now over doing Victory Day over with Vladimir Putin. Should we exclude those from the song contest? What's happening in Gaza is appalling, and he's right to call it. is genocide.
That was Brendan and both Brendan and
Sorry,
Harry.
Brendan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is genocide first and foremost. Nothing else can equate with it. You're starving a population. That is genocide. I agree with them totally in relation to that. But if we're going to look at the song contest in totality, and I haven't watched it, believe it or not, in the last couple of years,
but
because
it's
becoming ridiculous.
It is, and Brendan alluded to this, and so did Harry. In the context of what's happening there, it's insignificant, but it's not insignificant either.
No, it's not insignificant. But if we're looking at all aspects, even in sporting venues, we have to look at everything in totality. We just can't say, right, the song contest will exclude Israel. Look, let us look at sporting events.
Well, I think the problem is, I think these conversations get so complicated is because no one's whiter than white.
No, absolutely not.
You know, no one's fully innocent in any of this. I mean, like, you know, what should we stop the bombs being transported through Shannon, or ban Israel from a song contest? And I mean, if we're going to be serious, you can't be an a la carte sort of anti-Israel here.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the American participation, or you want collusion with Israel in relation to what's happening in Gaza, and some of the rhetoric that has come out from Trump and the administration is absolutely appalling. Should we exclude America from, say, World Soccer or other sporting events because of their collusion with Israel? You have to look at it in totality, not just in one aspect alone in relation to the song contest.
No one's copybook is unblotted.
Oh
either.
No,
That's
absolutely not.
So
Absolutely not.
I mean, at the end of the day, Israel was continuing to wage its war. We went over and broke bread with Donald Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a bit of a hypocrisy in it.
It's a tough one, Harry, isn't it? It's a tough one. But I think the people want us to feel that we're doing something. That we're not standing.
Pardon me. Exactly, Greg. It's one of those ones. You're right. No one's white is white, and no one can put the head above the parapet and speak with authority on that. So it's you're in itself the song contest means nothing, but maybe if it just sets that standard and says, listen, enough's enough, because obviously as a country we can't go waiting in there and sort out problems in the Middle East and what have you. But maybe if we do make a stance, it might be small, but from small ripples, large waves can come, and.
Yeah.
I think that rather than excluding them, because that's what Israel will anticipate, exclusion, they in their own domestic political sphere, they say they're marginalised, they're victimised. I would much prefer to have them in the contest and greet them with silence.
Mm-hmm. That can be quite impactful. And as I said to Charlie McGettigan yesterday, I think, it's if RT want to take a stand, mute their performance. That would be more impactful than anything. If you really want to, writing letters and all is a smokescreen. Okay, interesting stuff as always. We are going to be talking about our interest in the EU, or lack thereof, dependent. We're going to take a break. We're back in about 4 minutes if you want to grab a coffee.
If you have a special occasion coming up, Watson Menswear stock a great selection of men's and boys' formal and casual wear. Top casual brands include Mishmash, French Connection, Tommy Bow and Penguin. Formal wear names include Rimazumo, Sixth Sense and White Label, with a special suit deal of a 3-piece suit, shirt, tie and shoes, all for only €299. Watson Menswear, open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny, and at watsonmenswear.com.
Getting your first electric car is like meeting your partner's family for the first time. Nerves are normal. You were stressed about awkward silence with her dad. Now you chat for hours about sport. You worried her mum wouldn't like you. Now she likes you better than her own son. Likewise, once you experience how great an EV can be, you'll never look back, especially if it's a Skoda. Order your electric Enyaq or Elrock today.
Skoda.
Your local Skoda dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721 396.
With over 1,000 TFI Local Link door-to-door services nationwide, if you're on our route, we're on our way. To use the service, simply pre-book the day before you want to travel with your TFI Local Link office. To find out more about door-to-door services in your area, visit transportforireland.ie. We're Transport for Ireland. We're transport for you.
Thinking of changing your floors? Why not see what Florid Letterkenny has to offer? Florid have a large selection of solid, semi-solid and laminate click vinyl wood flooring, together with a fantastic choice of parquet, herringbone flooring, all at incredible value. Don't delay. Call Florid today on 087 161 7008.
Ready to transform your smile? Discover the magic of Blue Poppy Dental in Letterkenny and Donegal Town. With implantologists, surgical and cosmetic dentists, orthodontists and an endodontist all under one roof, we've got all your dental needs covered. Starting your journey is easy. Call us on 074 91 20355 or book your appointment online anytime through our user-friendly patient portal at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, where smiles shine brighter. Do you suffer from high cholesterol, menopause symptoms, digestive issues, anxiety, aches and pains, or a lack of energy? The highly trained team at The Natural Way Letterkenny can provide advice on natural remedies for a number of individual health issues. The Natural Way also has its own brand of herbal treatments to help fight fatigue, relieve digestive discomfort, maintain a healthy immune system and alleviate common menopause symptoms. The Natural Way at Letterkenny Shopping Centre, your one-stop health shop.
Here at Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville and Bridgend, we stock recliner and fabric suites, dining tables and chairs, beds and mattresses, curtains and rugs, and don't forget our large flooring department stocking carpet, vinyl and laminate flooring. We can't be beaten on price or quality and give a weekly delivery service to Donegal, Derry and Strabane, not to be matched. So call in today to Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville or Bridgend for all your home furnishing needs.
PDO thread lifts and skin boosters, which rejuvenate the skin by improving facial contours, lifting and tightening the jowls, neck, cheeks and eyebrows, are available at Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. To choose the right aesthetic treatment for you, contact Mary Ferry, your aesthetic practitioner. Also offering fat dissolving treatments, dermal fillers and laser treatments for all skin conditions. Hair and makeup packages also available. Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. 07495 325 75.
You join us for the World Final Chip Sizzle Freestyle Contest, and the team from Charlie's Chips are in the lead. What a team! Look at them go. They're coming up to the finishing pan, and once again, Charlie's Chips are the winners. Served with mouth-watering burgers, fresh battered fish, or delicious chicken. And there's a great selection of gluten-free options now also on the menu. All available to take away or sit in Tuesday to Saturday from 12 to 8. When the hunger hits, pull into Charlie's on Pierce Road, Letterkenny. Why leave the magic moments and great scenes you've captured sitting on your phone when you can have them printed at McGee's Chemist? Using McGee's website or one of their in-store kiosks, you just upload your photos, select the ones you want, and have them printed instantly within an hour, or use the 24-hour service. 35mm and film from disposable cameras also printed, and old photos can be digitally restored. Hold your memories in your hand with McGee's Chemist, Letterkenny.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhennys.com today.
So largely dry with long spells of sunshine. Some patchy cloud though will develop through the day, bringing the chance of an odd shower. Temperature 16 to 18 degrees. It's not what my watch is telling me or my phone's telling me, sorry, but it's certainly what Materin is saying. I don't think we're going to see any rain. Anyway, support for Ireland's membership of the European Union has dropped to its lowest level since 2013, a new opinion poll has suggested. However, the annual European Movement Ireland poll still found strong backing for Ireland's membership of the EU at 82%, though 43% of us do not believe our views are represented at EU level. Maybe you haven't heard from your MEP since the last election. I don't know. Brendan Byrne, you take a particular interest in matters in the EU, as we all do, but much of the industry you represent, the strings are pulled in Europe.
Absolutely. The fishing sector is the one sector of the economy where it's 100% governed by all matters from Europe and from the Commission and DG Mara. We have very little political autonomy in Ireland in terms of the policies, rules and regulations govern fishing, apart from how we interpret those policies. Look, I think what Ireland is saying, in line with the rest of Europe, they don't fully understand this full integration that Ursula von der Leyen is pursuing. And even if you take for a matter the militarization now of the EU, I've never voted in a referendum where I saw that coming. So that's going to cause a lot of unease. And more locally here, we see the regulations coming in terms of our peatlands, in terms of all that we do in farming, and the nitrates directives. All that is impacting on what we're thinking of Europe. But let's be clear, the Project Europe is a good project, but we need to be very careful of where we're heading. And we seem to be heading rapidly in a direction that we just don't know, or we certainly didn't vote for.
And of course, you never waste a good crisis, do you? What's happening in Ukraine can be used to accelerate what the big powers might be. Harry, I think sometimes really our view on Europe is how we feel about ourselves. You know, our sentiment, if our life feels good. I think after post the last recession, our attitude towards Europe fell, and when times are good, we seem to like Europe. I wonder, are we thinking about Europe or just our place in Europe when we're asked these questions?
Fair point, Greg. I think we're all busy in our own wee lives. We're busy with what's happening in Donegal and with what's happening in Ulster and with what's happening in Ireland. And by the time we get to Europe, we're nearly battle scarred and tired and what have you. But in light of we mentioned a couple of times already today, President Trump and the tariffs, and that's one area where Europe, where it'll concentrate minds as a trading bloc that. It should help us as a trading bloc to fight that.
My mind goes back to Brexit, where we were chucked under the bus, and I just wonder if pharmaceuticals and FDI would be chucked under the bus in any negotiations with Trump. But I'm just a natural born cynic, and I'm getting worse the older I get.
Yeah, you said Brexit. I read some of this Brexit now. I don't know how to pronounce it, but IRE exit. You know,
Irexit, yeah.
Ireland leaving it. You know.
But I think even the Herman Kellys
right
of this world have given up on that to some extent. I think they've conceded they can't really switch that, and they're just going down more the nationalist route. A minute to you, Christy Galligan.
There is a perceived disconnect. There is a perceived.
That's all right, batter on, you'll be grand.
Perceived
His
disconnect
knob's fallen off here.
There's a perceived disconnect between the EU and young people in general, and there was a 2023 survey in relation to some European countries where young people between the ages of 16 and 30, if you call them, well, I'm 60 plus, felt rather disconnected from the EU and switched off from the EU because there was the feeling of disengagement, and there was an emotional disenchantment or disengagement from the EU in itself. So there's a big, most people feel that since the EU, we're inundated with policies and procedures and legislation that hampers countries' autonomies as well, like Ireland, and something that we're no longer driven by local policies or local legislation. We're driven by EU legislation, and some people feel that is an interference.
Well, it took probably 20 years of reporting on bendy bananas and noisy lawnmowers for the British to be convinced to get out. Listen, Christy, I know there's much more to say in it, but unfortunately time has caught up on us. Thank you so very much for calling in. I really do appreciate it. Harry, lovely to have you on the show as always. Chat to you soon. Have a lovely weekend. Take care. And Brendan Byrne, same to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. We'll be back talking about a big motor show, actually, and much more besides in the second hour of the show. But we'll take a break now for the news and obituary notices.
Join the Highland Radio Outside broadcast team this Saturday at Carrigard Pharmacy as they celebrate 25 fantastic years. Jimmy Stafford will be live from 12 noon, and there's plenty happening in store with 15% off all front of shop purchases, free raffles and complimentary refreshments. Don't miss the fun this Saturday from 12 till 2 p.m. live from Carrigard Pharmacy with Jimmy Stafford on Highland Radio.
Summer is just around the corner, and it's now time to shop for your dream garden furniture at Easy Living Furniture. We've got a huge range of garden furniture and accessories at unbeatable prices. And if that's not enough, we'll throw in free delivery on all garden furniture. Transform your garden or patio for the ultimate al fresco dining experience. Don't miss out. Come in today to grab these incredible deals before they're gone. Only at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link, Derry, Londonderry.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. The Euro Millions jackpot is an estimated €125 million. Play responsibly, in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. it could be you.
Massive savings at Doherty Super Value Carndonna. At our butcher's counter, fresh Irish pork loin better than half price. Irish chicken fillet portions, 550 gram, only €5. 7-Up, Club Orange and Pepsi, 3 for €4. Real rewards, real value at Doherty Super Value Carndonna.
Hip hip hooray! Hip and knee replacement surgery is now fully reimbursed by the HSE under the Northern Ireland Planned Healthcare Scheme. Learn how to access treatment faster at Kingsbridge Private Hospital's free cross-border drop-in information clinics, Thursday 15th of May 3 to 8 and Friday 16th of May 9 to 2 in the Community Centre and Library, Drumacrin, Bundoran. We'll book your initial consultation at our Ballykelly or Belfast hospitals. Guarantee you'll be seen within 7 days with surgery within 21 days. Why wait? Visit kingsbridgeprivatehospital.com/cross-border to register your interest today.
Shortage of cattle bodes well for beef price. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, we analyse the impact 100,000 fewer cattle will have on the trade. TB reactors more than double in some counties. Find out how GAEC 2 restrictions could affect your farm. Farmers warned about land leasing risk in Fair Deal scheme. What are the pros and cons of registering your farm for VAT? We look at the cultural importance of silage dinners. Plus, don't miss our special focus on Balmoral Show. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donal Kavanagh at the news desk. Pope Leo XIV is beginning his first papal mass in the Sistine Chapel. He was greeted by cheering crowds in Vatican City last evening. The 69-year-old US native took a moment in his first speech to pay tribute to his predecessor, Pope Francis. However, broadcaster Father Brian Darcy has questioned the new Pope's decision not to emulate his predecessor in terms of what he wore when he went out onto the balcony in St. Peter's.
The wee bit that I didn't like, I'd have to say, was him dressing up in such triumphant stoles, etc., to make the announcement, rather than the plain white garment of Francis. Perhaps showed a little favouritism for this kind of regal liturgy, which I'm not sure is exactly what we need. But we'll give him a chance and see what happens. And even if Jesus came today, he wouldn't make a good pope, because there'd be enough of us there to criticise him.
Well, the President and political leaders have sent their congratulations to the new pontiff. Michael D. Higgins described it as an immensely significant moment for all those of faith and goodwill around the world who look to the papacy for spiritual guidance, moral clarity and global leadership. The Taoiseach Micheál Martin said he hopes the groundswell of best wishes towards the Pope will give him strength and support. Taoiseach Simon Harris described it as a momentous occasion for Pope Leo XIV and for the millions of Catholics around the world who now look to him for guidance and leadership. The state's new hormone replacement therapy scheme is asking pharmacists to enter into a loss-making service. That's according to Donegal-based Irish Pharmacies Union President Tom Murray, who's warning many aren't signing up to the service. Free HRT is to be introduced nationwide from the 1st of June, with pharmacies being offered incentives of €5 per distribution, as well as a one-off grant. However, Mr. Murray says that won't even cover costs.
What the state is asking me to do is to take on another loss-making service on behalf of the state, to lose that private patient, which is already subsidising the 87%, to get a 6-week delay in payment, to pay withholding tax on that payment, and also to be reimbursed at less than the cost price of the medicine.
Donegal County Council is inviting members of the public and other interested parties to participate in the second non-statutory public consultation on the Greenway to Buncrana and Newton Cunningham Greenway project. It's being carried out with the support of Transport Infrastructure Ireland. The first took place in April last year. With more, here's Katie Gillen.
The project is currently at Phase 2, which involves the development and assessment of shortlisted route corridor options to determine a preferred option for the Greenway route. The options were identified following the feedback received from the first public consultation held in April 2024. The purpose of the second public consultation is to inform the public of the selection process and to invite feedback on the corridor options presented. To facilitate this, 2 in-person public consultation events will take place in Buncrana and Burt at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel Railway Road, Buncrana on Wednesday, May 14th from 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock, and at Angrain Hotel Spinoak Burt on Thursday, May 15th from 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock. Members of the project team will be available to discuss any queries or concerns. After the conclusion of the in-person consultation events, public displays will be made available for a period of 2 weeks until Friday 30th of May at Buncrana Library, St Mary's Road, Buncrana, and Donegal County Council offices, County House, Lifford.
A 34-year-old man is appearing before Derry Magistrates Court today charged with 4 counts of burglary and 1 count of theft. They relate to reports of burglaries in the centre of the city, which have occurred over the past number of days. The Teachers' Union of Ireland is recommending its members accept new proposals aimed at supporting the rollout of senior cycle reform. It follows detailed negotiations with the Department of Education. Teachers had raised concerns about the addition of project work in the planned changes, as well as the role of AI. The TUI President, David Waters, says they put in a detailed submission about what was needed to allow for the reform.
A lot of what we have put in has now been addressed, such as reviews for subject where they're going to be now the new minimum 40% additional assessment component. They will be reviewed for their viability. There'll be time audit to see if it's actually possible to do this kind of coursework. There'll now be 1-year CIDs or contract of indefinite durations to address teacher supply in classrooms.
Weather forecast largely dry today with long spells of sunshine. Some patchy cloud will develop through the day, bringing a chance of a few showers. Top temperatures 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. A little cooler near some coasts in a light southerly or variable breeze. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with headlines again at 11. In the interim, check all the latest news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Friday morning, the 9th of May. The death has taken place of Hugh Og McGuinness, Dunroman, Moville. Hugh Og's remains will repose at Eamon McLaughlin's funeral home, Station Road, Carndonagh, today and tomorrow from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. on both days. Funeral from there on Sunday morning at 9 for 10 o'clock funeral mass in St Pius X Church, Moville, followed by private cremation in Lakeland's Crematorium, Cavan. The death has taken place of Frank Medlin, Derry Nasira, Camross, County Laois, formerly of Ahiarn, County Tyrone, and Oxford, UK. Reposing at his home in Derry Nasira, Camross, today from 5 with Rosary at 9, and again tomorrow, Saturday, from 5 with Rosary at 9. House strictly private, please, before 5 o'clock tomorrow. Funeral cortege will arrive at St Fergal's Church, Camross, on Sunday afternoon for Requiem Mass at 2 o'clock, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Requiem Mass can be viewed on the Camross Pastoral Council Facebook page. Family time, please, before the funeral on Sunday. The death has taken place of Mary Medlin, née McAniff, Lissadell Avenue, West End, Bundoran, formerly of the Holyrood Hotel and the Great Northern Hotel. Reposing at Breslin's Funeral Home, West End, Bundoran, today from 2 until 7 and tomorrow Saturday from 1 until 5. Removal on Sunday morning from Lissadell Avenue, Bundoran at 10:30, arriving at St Aidan's Church, Kinloch, County Leitrim, for Mass of the Resurrection at 11 o'clock. Removal afterwards to St Ninet's Cemetery, Newtown, Bundoran, for burial service. Mary's funeral mass can be viewed live on the Kinloch Glenad Parish Facebook page. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu to Ballyshannon Community Hospital, care of Breslin's funeral directors. The death has taken place of Paddy O'Donnell, Carrignamahal, Killybegs. Remains reposing at McBurty's Funeral Home, Killybegs, today from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Funeral Mass tomorrow in St Mary of the Visitation Church, Killybegs, at 2 o'clock, with burial afterwards in the local cemetery. The Mass will be streamed on mcn.live. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Dunloe Community Hospital or the Donegal Hospice. The death has taken place in Glasgow of James McGarvey, Glasgow and Maharalosk. Removal to Christ the King Church at Glasgow today for Mass at 6:30. In Gweedore, James will repose in Rorty's Funeral Home, Derry Beg, between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock tomorrow, with Rosary at 8. Funeral Mass will be held in St Mary Star of the Sea Church, Annagry, on Sunday afternoon at 1, followed by interment in Maharagalan Cemetery. The funeral Mass can be viewed live on Kieran Rorty Funeral Director's Facebook page. The death has occurred of Bernadette Anderson, 7A, Amalfi Court, Letterkenny, formerly of Ardnagana, Crossroads, Killygordon. Reposing at her sister Fiona's home at Carnadore, Castlefin. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:20 for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon, followed by interment in the adjoining churchyard. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live on the Killygordon Parish YouTube channel. The house is private to family only, please. The death has taken place of William Bill Macaulay, Mahari Callahan House, Dunny Loop. House strictly private to family only, please. Funeral from his home this afternoon at 1:15 for funeral service of Thanksgiving at 2 o'clock in Donoghmore Presbyterian Church, with burial afterwards in the adjoining graveyard. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Friends of Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member or Terence McClintock, funeral director. And the death has taken place of Myra Friel, née Connolly, Rossgear, Lifford, reposing at her home. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 11:45 for Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Murlock, Lifford at 12:30, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Family time, please, from 10 p.m. to 11 a.m. The Requiem Mass can be viewed via the parish webcam. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
By taking the bus, the train, walking or cycling whenever you can, you're playing a part in helping to reduce Ireland's transport emissions. To help you on your way, this year over €1.6 billion is being invested in public transport nationwide and over €1 million a day on our walking and cycling routes. This has helped more people than ever to access more sustainable transport, because wherever you're going, your journey counts. Visit gov.ie/your journey counts. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Good morning to Dolores and Kathy, regular viewers of our Facebook channel. We broadcast the show every day on Facebook, YouTube and X. If you work from home, work in the home, or just are at home, you can watch us on your smart TV or your Fire Stick as well. Just type in Highland Radio Ireland, and with there up on your big screen, you can see all of our guests and the conversation and videos and pictures that we play out over the course of the morning. As I say, on our Facebook pages and on the X platform as well. Greg, why is Israel allowed to participate in the Eurovision Song Contest in the first place when it's not part of Europe? Same applies to European soccer competitions. It's just the way it is. Australia's in there as well. Russia play in Europe, don't they? When they were allowed to play, it just so happens that's the way it is. Kevin Backhurst had no issue with the Euro contest until the NUJ spoke up. Bit like our government pay lip service to Palestine to pretend they care while at the same time cozying up to Israel. Food being denied for 2 months and Martin and Harris decide to comment now. Their silence has been deafening, says Martin. Gript Media are the only media who did their homework on the landlords and other. I'm not having a go at Gript Media, by the way. There's tons of media in this country. The easy solution is make the Eurovision make a choice. Each countries opposing Israel's inclusion should abstain from the Eurovision. That's more valuable, keeping Israel in or losing 10 plus acts from the overall show, but no one's going to take that stance. I'm really sick of you can't talk about. No one has shut up about immigration for as long as I've lived. I remember everyone going absolutely cuckoo. Bananas over Polish people in 2004. Yeah, indeed, you're right. It's not a new conversation. I think it's just the tone of the conversation is a little bit different now. Regarding planning permission, they put in the planning for something and then turn it into an iPass centre. There are 2 locations that I'm aware of in Letterkenny where this has happened. It's the same company putting in the planning all over the country. Imagine there are 20,000 iPass applications in Ireland. If we give half of them the go-ahead, we'll end up with more people. Once the application is accepted, the applicant is allowed to bring their family members to Ireland. This could soon turn 10,000 applicants to 40,000. Of course, it all depends on whether they're given asylum as well, and so on and so forth. Noted distinct absence of rainbow flags in St. Peter's Square yesterday. Hopefully this lack of diversity and acceptance of LGBT people will change with this new Pope. Other big news yesterday, Joe Duffy hanging up his big salary. Well, he's got a few pokers in the fire. Yeah, Joe Duffy is stopping his Lifeline show. 27 years, I think he did it. Marion before him. I can remember listening to Marion Finucane on that programme. It's terrible at how time flies. He's not going yet, though. I think he's going at the end of June, but they must have had to make the announcement yesterday because he wants to go on the Late Late Show tonight, and it's the last show of the summer season, so presumably that accelerated the public announcement of that. It'll be interesting to see what they do next, or who takes that job, or if they keep the same format. It's been pretty much the same for a long time, and I know Katie Hannon stands in for Joe Duffy, but I'm not sure she'd want to step away from hard news to take that full time. Like listening to the show, it's different now. You do note that, and we do it. not too frequently, if you know what I mean, whereby you see something on social media and, you try and give that a platform as well. They try, to some extent, to hide that, right? So there's a lot of enticing to get people on the show. We're blessed because we get so many people that come on, even given our smaller population. So many people come on and text and stuff. So I don't know where the future of just a phone-in show in and of itself goes. If they're going to continue that, do you care? What's your views? 086 60 25,000. Greg, the panel's talking about no facilities for asylum seekers in Donegal, and we all know that is true. With no housing, transport, etc., yet the same people of Donegal bent over backwards to get the same government in again, so you reap what you sow. Those that voted Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, though, might welcome the change in language on that topic as well. I don't know. Hi, Greg. Who would have ever thought that an American would be elected Pope, and the new Pope's mother was a black from New Orleans and father is from the Caribbean? That's different information to what I had. And the new Pope is also a dual Peruvian citizen who spent 20 years in Peru. The world is certainly changing, hopefully for the better. Does Christie know the millions being made by landlords on the back of this? Are taxes making greedy rich people even richer? Hi, Greg. Why do councillors fail to consult with the people about IPAS centres? Why do councillors conceal this information? The political establishment do not serve the interests of the Irish people. Again, I find myself stepping in to defend councillors. This is completely outside of their... they don't have full knowledge of this in particular. They're not told, there's an IPAS centre being planned for such and such a place. There's an executive of the council and then there is local authority members. I mean, if I was a councillor, I'd be going through planning and to see what was happening in my local area and highlight it, and some do. But it's not up to councillors to make these decisions. In fact, the councillor are informed to a great extent when this is happening. But what they have control over is whether planning permission is given locally or exemption 5s are granted. In fairness, ask Greg to discuss some of the nonsense and rubbish that Christie wrote in the local paper this week. Taxpayers' money is being wasted in this country on a daily basis. His views seem to be, if you disagree with government policies, you're far right. Thank God to be far right. The Irish people are starting to wake up. I didn't read his column, to be honest with you, and people are entitled to views, and what bothers me a little bit is those that sort of would be the biggest advocates for free speech or for being against hate speech, then try and silence people with a different view to them, and conversely vice versa. Practice what you preach. People have opinions. You may agree or disagree. Talk it out. We surround ourselves nowadays by people that agree with us. We join groups whereby everybody in that group is of the same view, and it could be on anything. It could be on sexuality, gender, immigration, left, right, centre, it doesn't matter. But we find ourselves in groups whereby everyone in that group agrees with us. And how does constantly having your own views enforced sort of help us grow as people? I'm not judging anyone, but I'm sure if you're listening and you've got strong views, you've found yourself in a pocket of people with similar views. Eventually, that's the way it ends up. Harry, typical Liberal. Yes, take them, but not on my doorstep. Another live and let live. People are coming from all over the world, and we're seeing an increase in violence and rapes. That's content. That is, you can contend that. To be honest, I did notice the Liberal. The Liberal was covering a very serious crime, which I can't talk about, but it's before the courts. That's in this space. And then there was other attacks, other assaults and what have you, whereby the people were originally from Letterkenny, both the victims and the perpetrators. Again, they're being I have to be careful what I say, but they're being investigated. But what's happening is nationally now, it's all being framed as if there's a certain group of individuals are responsible for all of this. And I mean, we all want the truth, don't we? But anyway, a caller says people are coming from all over the world and we're seeing an increase in violence and rapes. Our major difference is the Irish worked for their living in other countries, and if they committed a crime, they faced jail and deportation. Harry said he didn't know if he would mind non-documented living next door to him, and herein lies the issue. It's okay so long as it's not on my doorstep. And let's not forget, though, the overwhelming majority of immigration is people coming here on work visas, working in FDIs, health and research and all that kind of stuff. A caller says, hopefully the new Pope will modernise the Church's view on same-sex marriage, women priests and abortion to take the Church forward into the 21st century. Is that what you would like? I mean, maybe you're Catholic, non-Catholic, practicing, non-practicing. Would you like the church to be more inclusive? Or would you be of the view that you want the church to be, even if it becomes smaller, more truer to its core values as you might see it? Let us know. 086 60 25,000. Can I ask for your help, says a listener? We have a house rented out to a lovely family. However, it has defective concrete, and this year we've been refused insurance. Does anyone know of an insurance company that will insure a rented house with DCB, as if we can't get it, we'll have no option but to end their lease? Would this be sort of rental insurance or general house insurance? And maybe you need general house insurance if you register with the ETB. Is it not the ETB? The RTB. Anyway, someone out there knows the answers to this. They've been refused house insurance because they have DCB and they don't want to throw out those living in the house. There must be a solution out there. Can anyone help, please? And we can help these people. 086 60 25,000. They sound like good people too, wanting the best for their tenants. You keep saying the EU chucked us under the bus, but never assign any blame for the morons who voted to screw everything up because of a bus from Boris. Things could have been so much worse for us if the EU just gave the UK what it wanted. I understand, but my point is what, and I'm sorry if I sound repetitive, is that we're talking about our place in Europe. And, at the end of the day, our fishing industry took a big hit in Brexit. And I would just be concerned that in any tariff deals, pharmaceuticals, foreign direct investment, there's a pattern there. I just wouldn't want to see that happen again. Sorry if I'm boring you with repetition. I went to Australia in 1979. I got nothing for nothing. Tell the English, the French and the Americans to look after the refugees, as they are the ones who bombed them in the first place. We're going to end up in another world war. Ashley Murphy's killer, Josef Puska, was supposed to be deported 7 years before she was killed. I think Ireland needs to fix their own problems before getting involved in other countries' situations. It's like families deal with your own before interfering in other families, especially when there's so much injustice going on. You'd be mouthing constantly and your own family falling apart. But we do that a lot, don't we? You do see that, people with their own problems quick to judge others. I read somewhere that the 39 county councillors in Donegal signed a secret piece of paper that condemned last week's protest on Saturday. I can't get clarification, is this true or not? It didn't condemn the protest. I'll get the letter. Can we get that letter just so I have that for absolute clarity? It was about stating Donegal, the letter, the councillors, the motion they agreed on. My understanding, the quick read of it, but I don't want to misrepresent it, was that it wasn't against that protest as such, but it was about saying that Ireland is Donegal is a multi-racial, welcoming sort of a place. But I'll get the letter because there's been a few coming in that regard, and I hope I'm not misquoting it. Hi, Greg. Could you ask your panel why the government has banned smoking at the mental health patients' place where they're in for treatment, even outside as well? How on earth are these patients going to do without their cigarettes? That's the worst I've heard. What makes these decisions, or who makes them? Bet they're not mental health doctors. Be nice to hear what Sean Murphy has to say about this. Thanks. I'm not sure Sean Murphy has any... if that is under his remit. But anyway, we've talked about that actually on the programme previously. It is something that some people are very upset about. Right, couple of requests before our break. Please play a request for Ciara Grant from Illy's Buncrana. It's her 10th birthday today. Happy birthday, Ciara, from Granny Grandad in Tona Bratley, Clonmany. Hi, just wondering, could you wish Jackie Fegan from Termon a happy 50th birthday? Happy birthday, Jackie. It is today, of course. Lots of love from Kieran, Eunice, Tiernan and Keevan. Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you've lots of celebrations planned.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Friday the 9th of May. You're playing on the yellow sheet for the daily prize of €1,200. The reference number is S15. It's game number 19. The numbers are 43, 50, 5, 30, 76, 65, 41, 69, 18, and finally 38. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book. And we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Who's watching your home while you're asleep, at work, or on holiday? With the Sheridan Security Alarm System, you can be assured of round-the-clock monitoring. Our central monitoring station is on duty 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic, and medical signals, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. Sheridan Security Systems, Bonagee, Letterkenny, protecting what you value most. Call us for a free quotation on 9126. 6025.
We're serving up summer at Dunn Stores. Fire up the grill with 3 for €10 on a range of meat and fish, like succulent ribs, chicken, flaky salmon, and jumbo Irish pork sausages. Served in fresh buns, pittas, and wraps. Mix and match 2 for €2.30. And a range of delicious sauces from €1.75. Plus, you can save at the till with a €10.50 grocery voucher. Dunn Stores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next grocery shop of €50 or more.
Don't miss Homeland's May Mega Deal. Save 15% on wild bird feeders and tables. Farm stock solar fencer S440, now €179. Save €20. Gold all-in-one lavender and chamomile pods 51 wash, now $13.99. Save €6. Offers until May 31st. Shop in-store or at homeland.ie. Nationwide delivery available.
I'm joined in studio by Avril Ryan, who's the CEO of Gashka. You're very welcome into the programme. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for having us. Right, now, 40 years Gashka has been going. Is that correct? Talk to us about what Gashka is.
So Gashka is the President's Award, and it's a national non-formal education award and personal development programme for young people aged 14 to 25.
And it was established in 1985. What was its sort of mission statement at its launch?
Yeah, it was established by President Hillary during the European Year of Youth. I think that was the inspiration for it. And I guess it was really important to find, an opportunity to celebrate and recognise young people's personal achievements, perhaps outside of other formal education, I suppose, settings. And it was really there to kind of build resilience, build skills, build the tools that young people can use to navigate life through all of the experiences they get on the award. So they do personal skill challenges, they do physical activity challenges, community, which is volunteering, and adventure challenges, and they progressively go from bronze to silver to gold awards. So it was all about getting them out of their comfort zone, getting them to try new things, maybe get better at things that they've already done, and just open their minds and their mindset.
And the numbers are huge, aren't they? 520,000 young people have been involved.
Absolutely. Like generations of people in Ireland now have been involved in Gashka, over 500,000. And it's growing every year. And I think the value of the award in terms of that personal development piece has really, really grown. And that's why we want to celebrate this year with our Be the Arrow 40th anniversary challenge.
Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Be the Arrow is really inspired by the President's inauguration speech, President Michael D. Higgins, back in 2011, asking young people to be the arrow, not the target. Get out there and be active citizens, change makers, all of the things I think that the President echoes about the potential of young people. And we want to celebrate that 40 years, inspired by that Be the Arrow, not the target, to get everybody in Ireland involved. For just 1 month, now in May, we're saying to people, take up the Gashka Be the Arrow challenge, and then go to www.bethearrow.ie, find out all of the information. It's free to sign up, and everybody who participates. So we're talking about all the grown-ups from 0 to 99. You can do this one chance. We're talking to our alumni, we're talking to our President's Award leaders, the great mentors, the young people as well, if they want to do a little extra now that they've gotten their awards, because there's a lot of completions going on. So a big shout out to the young people who are finishing this month in Donegal. But it's an opportunity for everybody to realise the transformative value of the award.
Because you might have missed out at some point.
Yeah.
It went past you. And it can be an individual, an organisation, a sporting group. I don't want to be too prescriptive because then you might leave things out.
Anyone.
Anyone or
any
collection.
The staff here in Highland Radio could decide to do a challenge. So they can do anything. I mean, you can decide that you want to all go for a 5K walk. Maybe you've never done that. Maybe you want to start knitting something that you
Yeah, it
thought
can
you
be
might
about
do.
your own personal growth.
Your
It doesn't
own
happen to
personal.
be for someone else
You could take
necessarily.
10 minutes
Yeah.
a day to do a bit of mindfulness or whatever you want. You can go and volunteer somewhere. Whatever you want to do. We have Maria Walsh, our MEP. She's taken on a big challenge to push herself. She's learning the banjo this month. I've decided I'm going to walk 150 kilometres. Everyone's doing something different. We've got different.
That's how diverse.
We've got
it is.
Jim Gavin, the manager for Dublin, off doing a 5K. So people are kind of getting involved whatever way, and they have until the end of the month to do it. And like I said, it can be for a day, for an hour, every day, whatever you want to do that pushes you a little bit and reminds you of the essence of the award. And everybody will get a beautiful once-off limited edition, because it really is. That's from the President of Ireland saying they did the challenge.
And it's a digital commemoration that you can print off and frame if you wish.
Frame, and
because you'll have earned it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's lovely. It's a lovely way to, I suppose, celebrate Michael D. Higgins' legacy as well, as he finishes his term of office.
And I suppose those who have, been involved in Gaisca over the 40 years, they can reflect on that too, can't they? 'Cause,
absolutely.
I'm sure not everyone, I'm sure lots of people have different stories about it and how it impacted them or formed or whatever it might be. So it's a good time for reflection. So more information on bethearrow.ie. And you're just being invited to take on a personal challenge during May 2025 as an individual, as a collective. As I say, it's open. It's very open. And you can share your journey on social media using the hashtag #BeTheArrow and tag on Gaisca. That's GRISCE. And also spread the word. Tell your friends and families or work colleagues or indeed plan something in the office or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
All right, and if you ever felt that you missed out, this is a once in a
lifetime chance. Yeah,
right,
we may not repeat this again.
All right, anything else you want to add, Avril?
I just want to say congratulations to all the young people in Donegal who are completing their Gaisca Awards this month, the bronze, silver and gold level. There's a great culture of doing the award up here.
People are very proud of it.
Very proud.
And rightly so.
And they're doing young people are doing amazing things across their communities. Like, if you look at the last year or so, people are doing hundreds of thousands of hours around the country in every county.
Examples from Donegal? I don't want to thrust
no, but there's a lot of young people, say, up in the college doing it, in the local school here in Letterkenny are doing it, and they're doing everything from getting involved in their community sports. They're in their GAA clubs. They're getting out there. They're volunteering. They're park running. They're helping out in their charities.
I know
everything.
People
they're
who
amazing.
Are really involved and have been involved and really proud of their achievement, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone can get involved. A caller says Gaisca is very worthwhile to get involved in. It is great self-development. You meet a lot of people that you wouldn't otherwise meet. I'd recommend it to anyone. With Gaisca, I went to Estonia on 2 occasions. This is coming from someone who has a gold Gaisca. Well done.
Brilliant.
Very well earned. Okay, now all of us can get a recognition, a very special once-off commemorative digital Gaisca challenge cert from President Higgins. So it's all explained on the website, I presume, the process.
Yeah, it's really easy. Go to www.bethearrow.ie. It tells you how to register. It's free. Now, and if you wish, you can register and fundraise for the Gaisca Seuss Bursary Fund, and that's for young people who may face marginalisation or may need a little extra uplift. And we run that bursary fund. We announce it every September. So you're contributing to that. But you don't have to. Register for free. Enjoy it. Tell people about it. Spread the word. And help us continue to recognise the amazing impact that young people are having for themselves and others.
Brilliant. And we're blessed on this show in that, be it through Transition Year, be it through the local Garda Youth Awards, we speak to so many amazing young people on the weekly here. And it's something we're really proud of, and we're really proud of those people as well. So young people do great things.
They really do.
And it's really nice to recognise them.
And Gaisca awardees, are going that extra mile. They really are.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Avril Ryan, CEO of Gaisca, thanks so much for calling in.
Thank you so much.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Atlantic Travel, Letterkenny. Award-winning travel experts. Sail the Sicilian coastline. Dive the Maldives. Tour Riocan and Tuscan vineyards. Stroll the shores of Lake Garda or the streets of Santorini. Indulge the senses. Savor new flavors. Embrace warm welcomes, smiling faces, and balmy sunsets. Escape with AtlanticTravel.ie. Book today.
Get the moss problems in your lawn sorted with Mobacter, the natural product to remove moss from your lawn. Apply Mobacter now and forget, no raking necessary. Mobacter will feed your lawn for 100 days and will not stain your patio areas. Mobacter is the only moss remover approved by the Royal Horticultural Society. Mobacter Lawn Fertiliser for beautiful green, moss-free lawns from your local co-ops and garden stores. Check out Mobacter.ie for all Viano products or find us on Facebook.
Trade in your way with Vodafone. Choose no bills for up to 3 months, money off a new smartwatch, or your new smartphone free.
Sweet!
Get a sweet deal with Vodafone Trade-In on Ireland's most reliable mobile network. Visit in-store or search Vodafone Trade-In. Vodafone. Together we can.
Subject to using your eligible handset trade-in value against your bill, smartphone or smartwatch. 24-month contract may be required. Most reliable network Umlaut 2024. For certification and full terms, see vodafone.ie/terms.
They say time equals money, so spend your money where you spend your time. No matter what your preference is, Cooney's Home Interiors has something to suit every taste and budget. With our extensive range of home furnishing to fit every room and style, from mattresses and beds to rugs, mirrors and suites of furniture. Visit us in store today and see for yourself what Cooney's have to offer, and let us help you make your dream home a reality. Cooney's Home Interiors, Letterkenny Retail Park. Huge range, great prices.
Ready to order your 252 Nissan? Then get to iMotors Letterkenny from Thursday, May 15th to Sunday, May 18th. Explore the exciting new Nissan range with cutting-edge tech, bold design and unbeatable value. We're taking 252 orders now. Your perfect car built your way. Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 12 to 4. Don't miss it.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Charge into summer with TUI. Secure your holiday today with savings for families and adults flying from Dublin, Cork and Shannon. Holiday sorted. TUI. Live happy.
Now, we have a very exciting event coming up this weekend. It's the Letterkenny Motor Show. It's a free, family-friendly event, and it's taking place at the Atlantic Technological University, ATU, their campus, tomorrow, Saturday, from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And the 2025 theme is Your Road, Your Future. We've a number of guests involved in this. I'll get them in a mo. First, we'll go to Robert Murray, event lead of the Letterkenny Motor Show. It's a big one, isn't it, Robert? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg, and thanks very much for having us on. It is a big event. It's our second one as well in Letterkenny, so we're really excited about this because we kind of had a trial year in 2023. We had that in Lower Main Street, and this one is in a new venue, as you said. It's very exciting. It's on tomorrow. We've got 11 local dealerships involved. We've got 20 brands, and we've got great supporters in First Citizen Finance, Letterkenny Chamber, the Society of the Irish Motor Industry, and Britain Insurance, a local broker as well, coming behind us.
And we are blessed, I think, particularly in this country, to have amazing companies that have been established for ages and can rest on their reputation. But this is an opportunity where they all come into the one space, and nothing beats sort of sitting behind the wheel of different vehicles or getting a sense of how it might fit your motoring future.
Absolutely. You've got 20 brands here, so you've got 11 dealers who normally compete against each other all year, and they're coming together, they're working together as well. So actually, it's not just, I'm here just kind of expressing their event, but we've all worked together, and they've been involved in the planning for the last probably 10 weeks. The ATU have been awesome with us as well. They've been very good to work with. But the dealers themselves, long-standing businesses. There's single franchise dealers, there's dual franchise dealers, there's triple dealers. And they're all excited and ready to go. So hopefully we get some weather.
That'll be grand. Don't worry about that. Daniel Carlin, Area Sales and Portfolio Manager with First Citizens Finance, a show partner, and not obviously these decisions are always considered, but it's an easy one to get involved in this scale of a project here in Letterkenny / Donegal.
Hi, Greg. Yeah, really, really exciting event. Just as you alluded to there,
11 dealerships with 20 brands coming together on the day. So if you're in the market or had a notion to buy a new car, what better way to go and showcase the event. Lots of fun family and events on the day also. So lots to be optimistic about, lots to look forward to. So get down to the ATU tomorrow.
Yeah, in studio with me is Mark Carey, sales manager at Highland Motors. Good morning, Mark. And also we have Stephen McCall, dealer principal at DMG Motors. Good morning, Stephen.
Morning, Greg.
We're heading into 252 now, too. We've got this situation whereby there are two, particularly busy times. Stephen, why did you decide to get involved, and what are you bringing to the party tomorrow?
Look, I suppose, Greg, it was great to be invited by Robert and the team to I suppose, showcase our brands. We have 3 brands, as Robert said, and really Cooper's new to us, so it's to showcase that along with our long-standing Skoda brand. And look, it's nice to be in the one place. It's nice to show that we're all friends and we can have a bit of banter and a bit of crack. Let the people sit behind the wheel, let them see the cars. Obviously, there's a lot of other things going on as well for the kids and so on. There's competitions. There's going to be some dancing. We might even bring a bit of ice cream if we can get the freezer to work.
Well, don't say it if you're not going to do it.
Oh no, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah. To be a long-standing sort of principle in the market here in Donegal, Stephen, it requires you have to give the full package, don't you? From when someone comes in to look around the showroom, to the sales process, the after sales, the support in that regard. It's return custom and loyal custom too. That's a big part of a long running successful car business, I think.
Look, yeah, certainly it's a complete all-rounded package, and I think Mark would probably agree with me. We're all the same. We're not looking to sell you one car or 2 cars. We're looking for your business for a long, long time, and it's up to us to keep that business and provide you a service that goes long past just selling the car. We all have product. We all have good product, but we got to provide you that experience and that service that's really second to none.
Yeah, and a lot of it's now it's what car suits the client rather than what car is necessarily much better than the other. Mark Carey, as you mentioned there, sales manager at Highland Motors, another long-established business. Getting all the same stuff right, because that's how you can stay doing what you're doing, Mark.
Yeah, it's very important that you give the customer the experience that, as Stephen says there when they come in, he says you're not just trying to sell one car to them, you're trying to keep them and their friends and their families for life, because you have to give a very good experience. You have to look after the customer afterwards. It's not just about that one day, deal on that one day.
Yeah, and what brands will you be showcasing tomorrow?
Well, Highland Motors will have Citroen and Renault and Dacia, and we'll have both cars and commercials at the show at the weekend, so we're looking forward to that big time now.
Yeah, I'm not showing any favouritism, but I've said it before on the show. The Dacia really are getting the act together in terms of styling and accessibility, aren't they? They're really lovely cars now.
Yeah, Dacia have come on.
They've always been nice, but you know what I'm on about? They've stepped up their game, I think, in the last couple of models.
Without a doubt, they really have, and we're launching the new Dacia Bigster at the show. It'll be unveiled at 11 a.m.
Is it big?
It is. It is, a, big, it is a big car. It is a
That's
big
marketing
car.
101.
Might be in the name, Greg. Might be in the name.
Have any Skoda Hugesters?
It's a big car with a small price.
Yeah.
So you'll have to come along and see it now.
And really also, too, there are people out there who want the hybrid, they want the electric options as well.
Oh, definitely. There's no question about it. And the new Bigster is 100% electrified with hybrid engines. So, and we also have the iconic Renault 5, which is 100% electric. That'll be on display at the show as well.
I like
a lot of attention.
I know I like the way the Renault 5 was relaunched and kind of stuck to its roots a little bit. Yeah. This is not a criticism of the Capri, don't get me wrong, but I don't see the old Capri in the new Capri. As I say, it's not a criticism whatsoever, but you can see the old Renault 5 that we remember
you really
in the new imagining of it, and Mini did the same as well, of course, when they relaunched the Mini. So Robert, that's just a sample of the dealerships. Who else is going to be there? Is the list too long to go through?
No, I don't think so. I think it's important to name people out as well. So I'll run through them here quickly. You've got Connolly Motor Group, Volkswagen, Letterkenny, they're obviously showcasing the Volkswagen brand. Divers Hyundai, McGinley Motors, Mazda, Peugeot and Volvo. Hegarty's Ford. They're Ford and Ford commercial vehicles as well. It's not just a passenger on the day as well. There's going to be a mixture of commercials across the board as well. iMotors, that's Kia and Nissan, and they'll have some commercials there as well on the day. Highland Motors, as we know, Marcus there. Renault, Dacia and Citroen on display with those. Manor Motors, Opel, Kelly's, Toyota and Lexus Letterkenny as well, of course, Toyota and Lexus. Barry Brown Cars, Suzuki. Maxus, Donegal, Maxus and DMG with Stephen there, Seat, Skoda and Cupra. And I think it's probably I suppose our opportunity today as well, if I don't mind me, Greg, is that this is a good showcase for Letterkenny. It's about local business, supporting local businesses as well. It's very important to say it's a free event. This is not going to be we're not trying to make money here on this event. This is actually about bringing the suppliers locally in Letterkenny into the mix. My background, you can hear my accent, is not from Letterkenny. So I'm working with the dealers. I'm actually a colleague with Daniel, so we're First Citizen Finance represented. And we've been working with the dealers in Drogheda for the last 15 years on this project. So we're only showing some of the stuff that can happen in this event tomorrow. Yeah. So we're really hoping that people will come in. And there's parking, which is very important to say. It's there's easy parking across the Port Road. It's obviously free parking, disabled parking as well available. And the website, of course, has got a lot of details on it. One thing I would ask listeners as well is to go and have a look at the website, because there's some cool things in it. There's a design a mascot challenge that we're doing for primary schools, and that is all around road safety. We're delighted to work as well with Garda Inspector Damien Mulcairns in the Letterkenny station. He's going to be with us on the day with some of his colleagues. He's going to have a motorbike there. He's going to have another vehicle there as well. There's going to be the competition we have is with Shop LK gift cards. There's €600 of prize money there. So there's €100 for the child, there's €100 for their school in 3 categories. But we're going to actually build that mascot. So we're looking for the kids of Letterkenny to come up with the real idea. Some people might check out Donegal Daddy. Actually, he's done a great little post on this in the last few days. Worth looking at it. We'll give you a full picture. And also we've got balloon modelling and magic with Kazoo the Clown. We've got face painting, crafts tables, games with the Letterkenny CDP, who I have to say have been absolutely brilliant, Margaret and Lorraine. Okay. So the list goes on.
What's going on?
Greg.
Daniel Carlin, I think it's important too to recognise you know the role you guys play and other in the area too in working with the garages to sort of help people to realise their dreams and to do so in an affordable way that they'll come back, of course, as well. But also just actually allows people to get behind the wheel of a new or nearly new car, or even a little bit older.
Absolutely, Greg, without a doubt. As you alluded to earlier, we have lots of fantastic businesses in Donegal in the motor scene, a lot of them going back generations. So it's a really professional approach, and we're only too happy to work with them in collaboration to find the best solution for their customers in relation to their financial needs. So more than happy, and we're delighted to be collaborating and be involved with them, and we're really looking forward to a good, exciting day.
Stephen, what have we seen change in the motor industry most over the last wee while? Is it still traditionally that people want to walk in and have a look around the showroom? It seems people, even though it's a huge purchase, or certainly the second-hand market, I don't know about the first-hand market, but they're able to trust a company and buy, from down the country, for an example. Is that some of the changes that we're seeing in the motor industry?
I would say, Greg, there's a lot of change, especially probably in this last 10 or 12 years. And the whole world of online. I mean, we're sitting here today, and we're not just on the radio anymore. We're live. We're visible, and I suppose from the motor industry, we've become very visible. We've become very accountable. We always were accountable, but certainly people can do a lot more shopping before they ever arrive in the state.
Yeah, because you'd never have imagined buying a car for 16 grand online 20 years ago. Yet, now with the reputation of companies, with the follow-up support and all that kind of stuff, people are prepared to do that. It is. I'm not saying it's replacing anything, but it just goes to show. And I think that's down to the reputation and service. Really, I think you have to have that.
I think the customer will still ultimately come to your showroom to complete that purchase.
They still want to have a look at it.
Yeah, they still want to touch it and still want to feel it. And I mean, that's why we all have the premises that we have, and that certainly adds to it. But your reputation is built over the years with your customers. They can do an awful lot of looking, they can do an awful lot of research now before we ever see them. Yeah. I sometimes would say to the boys, the customer really knows more than you do when they walk through the door. So, and it's back to one very simple thing. it's just being honest.
Yeah,
being honest and upfront with them. You know.
Mark, nice to get out of the space that you're so familiar with and see old customers and potentially new customers in a different environment too. It's a nice day out for you and whoever you bring with you.
Oh, it certainly is. It's great to get out there and meet all the public and see all the different people who are coming in. As you say, it's good to see your old customers coming in. You can have a bit of crack and a bit of banter with them and meet new people and see how you get on.
All right, great stuff. Thanks very much, Robert Morey, event lead at Letterkenny Motor Show. Fingers crossed. I think we're going to get the best of the weather around the country tomorrow, so people shouldn't be discouraged. And best of luck with it. I'm sure it'll be hugely successful. It's in a great venue, great parking, and accessible, so I'm sure it'll be a success.
Greg, just one more last thing, if you don't mind.
Of course, there's always one more last thing.
Yeah, I know.
What, are you trying to get me go metallic? What?
This is an important one because we've got a very kind of a special attraction, which is the DeLorean on display as well.
Oh, lovely.
To add a bit of fun. Now, obviously, Donegal are playing tomorrow, so we want to wish them very best of luck. So if you wear your colours, come in and get a photograph with the DeLorean. And we have got 80 tickets in partnership with the Century Complex to give away for the cinema, for any cinema of your choice over the next month. We've got 80, so when they're gone, they're gone. But each ticket is a pack of a seat, a drink, and a popcorn. So come in and get your seats, families.
Okay, DeLorean's a remarkable car story when you think about it. All right, listen, thanks very much indeed. Look after yourself, Daniel. Take care. Thanks for joining us. It's been nice having you on the show as well. What are you behind the wheel of there?
Mazda.
I've had Mazdas. I've realised I've had every car now, if the truth be told. All right, brilliant stuff. I had a big estate Mazda 3.6. Can't remember which one it was. Beautiful car. You could change the heating on the steering wheel. I've never seen it before or since. Anyway, that's besides the point. Mark Carey, sales manager at Highland Motors. Continued success. Enjoy tomorrow. Thanks so much for calling across to us. And Stephen McCall, dealer principal at DMG Motors. And both of you guys, it's not just about tomorrow. You're there all the time with your superb teams, waiting for people to come in and have a chat and see what you can put them behind the wheel of. And I think particularly having 3 brands each, there's something for everyone, isn't there?
Oh, there certainly is. Yeah, it's great to have a multitude of brands that you can offer.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Just a shout out there to Robert there, because without the amount of effort, energy, and the tireless work that Robert puts into this Letterkenny Motor Show would not happen. Yeah. So as a real credit to Robert for
it is. You wouldn't want to be at the start of one of these processes because you think like, how the hell are we going to make this happen? But anyway,
Robert leaves it very, very easy for us. We line up our cars and we arrive, and he has a lot of legwork done.
Excellent stuff. All right. Thanks again to Robert Morey, Daniel Collin, and a big thanks to Mark Carey and Stephen McCall. That is the Letterkenny Motor Show. It runs tomorrow. Over 100 brand new 252 reg models from 11 brilliant local dealerships representing 20 top marquees will be on display. You'll get the chance to sit behind the wheel, explore your options, and discover the vehicle that is right for you. And we're doing something down there. I don't know what it is though, because was that given to me specifically? I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about it today. That'll do for now.
One other thing there, Greg.
Go ahead. There's always one other thing with you
guys.
It's
not metallic paint.
I'm happy with the rims.
They're bringing. You'll probably be aware that for Relay for Life, we're doing a car push, and all the gyms are going to bring their cars tomorrow and display the cars for the car push tomorrow. So we'll have them on display as well.
Okay, the DeLorean's on display. There's lots of stuff for all of the family. There's a games corner, dance performance too by Pine Hill Studios. I've seen them. They're brilliant. And so much more besides, clowns and everything. It's going to be a great day. It runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you'll get wrapped up back home in front of the telly to watch the football as well. What else could we do for you? Take care. Back with more after the break.
It's the holiday of a lifetime. Highland in the Sun 2025. This September 14th to the 21st, we go back to the stunning 4-star Sol Costa Gerada Hotel Saloon for 7 nights dinner, bed and breakfast, and lots of great entertainment with some of your favourite acts in Irish country music. Don't delay and book today by contacting Country Music Tours on 074 9119 955 or email info@countrymusictours.ie. Don't miss out on the holiday of a lifetime.
This month, Foy's in Ballybuffet and Letterkenny are having a massive display clearance sale. We're making room for new arrivals with incredible discounts on display furniture, including sofas, dining room furniture, bedroom furniture, and more. It's your chance to grab top quality furniture at unbeatable prices. With the largest showrooms in the Northwest, Foy's is the place to shop interiors and paint. Foy's, where the best deals are waiting for you.
All access to Audi is all yours with the 252 Audi range. Enjoy exhilarating test drives, exciting offers, introductory incentives, and exclusive product packs for a limited time during Audi All Access in dealerships nationwide. Discover all the advantages to owning a new Audi this summer. Terms and conditions apply. Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik.
It's your chance to CFC save big with CFC Interiors Campsie Derry in our massive £1.5 million stock clearance. We've slashed prices across all departments with up to 75% off across our 3 CFC stores. Our massive £1.5 million stock clearance ends this weekend. Visit CFC Campsie Derry before it all goes.
On May 10th, join Pieta and Electric Ireland for Darkness into Light. By the time the sun rises, we'll each have walked about 5,000 steps. But you can take the first and most important step right now to help stop suicide, simply by signing up. Together, we can bring hope and raise funds for Pieta's life-saving services. But don't just show up, sign up at darknessintolight.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenny's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhennys.com today.
Sunny, some cloud might build a little later on, temperatures in the high teens. So just for context and not loaded in any way, obviously we're a population of 160,000 plus here in Donegal. At the moment, there's 2,071 people in iPass centres here. 892 of them are children. So out of a population of 160,000 at the moment, there are 1,200 adults in iPass centres. And I'm not saying that's too high. I'm not saying that's too low. I'm simply saying that that is the figure. And there are 30 of these centres around the county. So as it stands now, 2,071 people are in iPass centres, 8 in Donegal. And 890 those of kids. So that means there's about 12 or 1,300 adults, iPass applicants in Donegal out of our population of in excess of 160,000. And I was to say, some might say one's too many, some might say bring it on. You know what I mean? I'm not making a judgment call. So the statement from Donegal County Council signed by the councillors is as follows. Donegal is a county where everyone belongs. We are committed to integration, inclusion, equality and respect for all communities. Through our black and minority ethnic inclusion strategy, we send a clear message. There is no place for hate here, only welcome, respect and a shared sense of community. So there's no reference to the march itself that took place. That being said, you know, the hashtags they're also sticking out there is hashtag anti-racism, hashtag Donegal for all, hashtag Donegal. So that being put out in the days leading up to a rally. Some might say, oh, well, we know what you're talking about there. That's not for me to say. I just give you the facts and then you make up your own mind. Greg, is there any chance you could announce on your show if anyone has tickets for the Donegal final on Saturday at the Hill Terrace End for sale? Desperately needed, please. We have a number here. I will say one thing, that I probably have 20-25 requests to put out about tickets, and I simply just can't take that on. I know some people are messaging me, and I will get back and explain the situation, but my own social media or even this show would be just effectively trying to put tickets from one person's hands into the other, and it's just beyond the time that I have. There's an awful lot of people in the same situation, and I can't really help, unfortunately. So that's all. That's. But we'll make any announcements as they come in. Back with the news.
A public interest message from Donegal County Council. Donegal County Council invites you to enjoy the Baltana Festival, celebration of arts and creativity as we age, which takes place across Donegal from May 1st to 31st. Experience a month of inspiring art workshops, captivating theatre performances, music concerts, fascinating films and informative talks. All events are designed to celebrate creativity, encourage connections and enhance well-being. For full event details and bookings, visit donegalculture.ie or contact your local library. Donegal County Council, supporting our communities.
Summer is just around the corner and it's now time to shop for your dream garden furniture at Easy Living Furniture. We've got a huge range of garden furniture and accessories at unbeatable prices. And if that's not enough, we'll throw in free delivery on all garden furniture. Transform your garden or patio for the ultimate alfresco dining experience. Don't miss out. Come in today to grab these incredible deals before they're gone. Only at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link, Derry, Londonderry.
Home improvements are well worth making, especially when they build towards a more sustainable future for us all. SSE Airtricity is here to help with the Generation Green Home Upgrade. From insulation, heating, solar panels, windows and doors to full home retrofits, we're your one-stop shop for energy solutions to suit all budgets. It's a simple, hassle-free process with end-to-end project management and a streamlined SEAI grant application process. So make some home improvements that will make a real difference at sseairtricity.com/home upgrade. Registered with the SEAI for home energy upgrades. Grants offered are provided by the Government of Ireland through the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland.
Ahead of the busy summer season, why not have your children's eyes checked at Louis Walsh Opticians in Letterkenny? Right now, when you buy one pair of children's glasses, you'll get a second pair free. Some terms and conditions apply. See the full range of glasses at Louis Walsh Opticians in the Courtyard Shopping Centre, Letterkenny.
Len Europa Fui Washa Dave Golier. This May 9th, celebrate Europe Day. Celebrate EU funds in Ireland, supporting people, supporting jobs, supporting research and innovation. Celebrate our shared values of freedom, democracy, equality and the rule of law. To learn more and to be in with a chance to win a €100 voucher, visit eufunds.ie. T's and C's apply. Níart go Carla Hilla. Brought to you by EU Cohesion Policy Funds and the Government of Ireland.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
And very shortly I'm going to be joined by Michael and Fanula. But at 11 o'clock, let's get a news update and say good morning again to Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. An Bord Pleanála has given the go-ahead for an Islamic cultural centre in Letterkenny, subject to a number of conditions. Donegal County Council had granted permission for the development at Lisnenan in November. It was subsequently appealed to the Planning Authority. More details on our website, highlandradio.com. Sinn Féin's housing spokesperson is asking for government clarity on the status of the purchase of 3,000 affordable homes nationwide that were sanctioned in February, some of them in Donegal. Ono Bryn says funding to acquire the units was provisionally approved by Cabinet, but in the case of some of them, the final go-ahead still hasn't been given. He challenged Taoiseach Simon Harris, who in turn promised to raise the issue with the Housing Minister. Pope Leo XIV is celebrating Mass with cardinals at the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. It's his first service, a day after his historic election. More than 90,000 applicants for compensation were made following Storm Éowyn. Figures obtained by TG Cahir show that claims were made to the Department of Social Protection's Humanitarian Assistance Scheme. It's expected the storm's cost will be in the region of €200 million. The storm brought record-breaking winds to Ireland at the end of January. The state's new hormone replacement therapy scheme is asking pharmacists to enter into a loss-making service. That's according to Donegal-based Irish Pharmacies Union President Tom Murray, who's warning many aren't signing up to the service. He says the €5 per distribution per patient plus one-off grant that's being offered by the government isn't even enough to cover costs. 55,000 litres of suspected illegal fuel has been seized from a distributor and 2 filling stations in County Louth. Intelligence led Revenue's Customs Service to inspect the premises. That after suspecting it had been selling laundered fuel, the seized fuel was removed for further examination. And police in Tyrone are investigating the theft of copper wiring from a site on Berryhill Road in Dunnamana outside Strabane. It's believed to have occurred sometime between 6:30 on Wednesday evening and 7:15 yesterday morning. They want to hear from anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity in the area or has been offered copper wiring for sale in suspicious circumstances. Police also urging contractors and businesses and builders to take steps to ensure their premises and sites are as secure as possible. And we're back with headlines again at 12 noon.
Donald, thank you very much indeed.
VHI Multitrip Travel Insurance is your passport to peace of mind. Lost baggage in Beijing? Hotel cancellation in Cavan? Sprained ankle in Auckland? You're covered wherever you go. Buy VHI Multitrip online today. Terms and conditions apply. VHI Healthcare DAC trading as VHI Healthcare is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland and is tied to Collins and Insurance Europe Limited for VHI multi-trip travel insurance.
Okay, it is the last hour of the week, and we're heading into hopefully a nice weekend weather-wise, and certainly we're going to get more high pressure Tuesday, Wednesday, leaving the rest of the next week even nicer than it is today, believe it or not. Isn't that all good to look forward to?
100% agree. Yeah, great to look forward to it. Yeah, we were just chatting in the kitchen about the great weather and how fantastic the
sun. Do you
sunshine
like the hotter weather, Fionnuala?
Well, I do. No, I do love the sun now, I have to say. But I just find it hard because, you know, I have a selection of clothing that I would normally wear in the sun, which I would not expose to any human being
Why
that I
not?
actually know.
Why?
Oh, because there would be a significant amount of flesh involved.
Yeah, but I wonder why. No, I mean, not even you
I think
specifically.
everybody has their holiday
Yeah.
clothes that you wouldn't necessarily, you know, like I've got shorts now. I wouldn't wear shorts in this country in a million
It's
years.
funny, isn't it?
But when you go away, you don't know.
You mean
anybody.
anywhere in the country?
Yeah, no.
Or do you mean Donegal and go
No,
away?
anywhere in the country, sure you would know. You meet people everywhere you go. It's hard enough to go to
You do,
abroad
yeah.
and
Meet
not
people everywhere you go.
But like people, you end up
You're
bumping
wise.
into people that you know. You end up bumping into people that you know, like you actually know.
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about Mobland because you've been watching it, and we know that you don't like funny Irish accents. And we're in a situation whereby we have an Irishman doing an Irish accent, because normally it'd be the Americanized version of it. It's supposed to be a brilliant show, but the accent caveat is it's bad.
Oh God. I mean, the only thing I can compare this to is, was it Far Away Home or something like that?
Far and Away with Tom Cruise.
With Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise should have gotten an Oscar for his Irish accent in that movie.
Right.
A good Oscar.
In comparison.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Okay. I was going to say.
I was wondering.
Well, what about Brad Pitt's in that film with Harrison Ford?
An Oscar.
Compared
in comparison to Brad Pitt and Helen Mirren. And this is set, from what I can gather, just based on the lifestyle. You know, they've never actually said the timeline or whatever, but in present day. And it's beyond shocking. It's beyond shocking.
Let's see if I can get a sample of it now. I've only got trailers.
I don't know. It comes up. It comes up on anybody's feed, and you're just and usually at the bottom.
Well, let's
of it,
see
it's
if
like,
we hear him in the trailer.
You're bound to.
Here we go.
Family man, and if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray. Red Harrigan, family man, and if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
So it probably is a great show. The speculation is that he might have based it off the Healy Rays.
Oh God, no.
No, that's what he said, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least one of the Healy Rays claimed that he used it. Now, I'm not saying he did it well, but that seems to have been his inspiration.
Well, I don't.
Is it so distracting that you couldn't enjoy it?
Oh God, yeah, it's very difficult. Like, in fairness, it is. The show itself is actually, if you like that kind of moblandy stuff, you know what I mean? It's about this family, and they're over in the UK, and then you know the way they're kind of a bit ganglandy, and there's the two sons. I mean, the cast is amazing. You got this is what drew me to. You got Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Tom Hardy, our own Paddy Considine, who manages to do his accent perfectly well. Joanne Froggatt, who was in, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily know her name, but she was in Downton and that kind of thing, and people would recognise her face. So, like, there's a brilliant cast that's in it, and he kind of would draw you to it. And then all of a sudden, then you've got Pierce Brosnan, and he's,
But he's Irish.
I'm not. I don't understand where Pierce Brosnan,
But he's doing an accent that's not native to his own Irish accent. I mean,
No, I know.
That's the problem. Like, I mean, you can have an Irish actor
accent, and I appreciate it.
As unforgivable as it is, an American trying to do an Irish accent.
Yeah.
When an Irish person gets the Irish accent so wrong, it does land harder, I think. But
it lands harder for us.
And plus, it's like, they're really wealthy, and they've obviously lived in London or in England a long, long time, and they have an accent which is going back to himself and Helen Mirren have accents now that go back to like that old kind of like what used to be like a traveller kind of what used to be kind of associated with being like and wrongly associated.
No,
but
I know what
you know
you're
what I mean.
on
As you say, like the Brad Pitt, like the whatever, like the Brad Pitt did at that time. Like as in that I'm not sure what county these people are supposed to be from. It's very difficult to listen to that part of it, and like and then they're threatening people and all this kind of thing in this bizarre Irish accent.
But the funny thing with accents is that lots of people have accents and lots of people don't have accents. Like I couldn't pin you down, Michael, or I couldn't pin you down, Fionnuala, and certainly people can't pin me down. And if they do, they pin me down in the wrong place. So I mean, you couldn't really tell you where Caroline is from or where Shannon's from, or Canis. Maybe you could, but
I
you know
don't
what I mean.
know why
like,
they
I'm
don't.
just looking around me and I'm thinking, who's got an accent where you could say, "Oh, it'd be Gary Bigum."
Yeah, I don't understand why it was necessary to do it in this. You know what I mean? I haven't yet come across the storyline in which it was necessary
How far into it are you?
to be. Oh, not very now, because it kind of popped up and I was like, "What the heck
But
is
he
this?"
ain't
And then
gonna all of a
started
start
watching
speaking with
it only drops
But
once
that
a
being
week, so
said,
they're only like
right,
6 episodes into it.
If you watch an American program where people are English, like the English probably feel the same. Do you know if you watch the new Bridget Jones Diary and everybody speaks like this, and it doesn't matter if
they've
you're
picked a
black,
BBC
white,
kind of
Asian. Everyone has this stereotypical hello
Yeah.
accent. So I suppose it's
geographical. It's where you're from. Yeah, you're like, oh, you're getting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like Helen Mirren is English and she must know an awful lot of Irish people. Pierce Brosnan is Irish. I don't know where he thinks.
Yeah, but maybe the directors go, no, we need more Irish. We need more Irish, more Irish.
I know, but if I was Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan, there are two small words that I would have used back to him.
The second one's off?
The second one is.
There you go,
and
okay.
even like, I don't know how Paddy Considine... In it, Paddy Considine is like he's kind of the son.
Well, hold on a second. We seem to have a difference of an opinion.
Oh, well,
hey, this is what we want.
And it's not Pierce. So let's listen to Pierce's accent again, just a little bit here.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
No, well, you'd better pray. A listener says, I think Fionnuala's wrong there. I think his accent is first class and funny. But I don't think it's supposed to be funny, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
Okay. Mobland is Tom Hardy. He steals the show. So you have to get past the accent and enjoy Tom in it.
Yes, and even Paddy Considine is brilliant in it. Paddy Considine is trying to be the kind of son that's pulling them out of the kind of gang sort of, the way and that kind of thing in it. And every time I see him in it, he's rolling his eyes about something they do, and I feel it's not even for the murders they're committing, but more the accent. He's like, God, why? But it is now, as I said, if you can get over the accent, it is a good show. Like, you know what I mean. And I know an awful lot of people love that kind of kin. You know what I mean, love, hate, that kind of thing. Like, it's definitely, it's the family. It's all about the brothers and their kids and everybody getting involved in it, and they're one's trying to stop.
Who is behind it? Is it an American show? Is it a Sky show? Is it HBO?
It's on Prime now, so I'm assuming
it's an Amazon
Prime.
show. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
so
an Amazon show.
It's
Okay,
Amazon.
Just wondering where the money was. Okay.
Sorry, I was PFLing something. Had you stopped speaking?
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I was PFLing accents here.
No, so I'm not telling people to stay away from it. Some people, as that listener, might find it funny and be able to survive it. It's just when they start talking to each other, you're just like, oh God, come on, Pierce.
Maybe after a few episodes, seriously, maybe after a few
episodes. You get used to it,
yeah.
I think
you
so.
get used to it.
Yeah, maybe others will.
But you have to understand that there's this consistency here, Michael, and that Fionnuala has often had concerns about accents in films and TV. So this is not come out of the blue. She has form in this regard.
She has form, yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm watching another show
where they have accents.
It's on the thing, which is Alibi on Jack Wright, which I have to say I recommend to people if it's not as good as Succession, and I've only watched a few of them, but everybody's raving about it. But it does have that Succession kind of a feel about it.
What's it
called? Jack Wright. It's on Alibi, and it's about the grandfather dies and his will. And then suddenly there's suspicions. And then there's suspicions about his death. But it's kind of done almost mockumentary.
Right.
As in they interview them and it's further in time, and they're kind of looking back
on it.
You know, that kind of way. There's a great cast in it, but there's one of
heard of this.
one of the actresses in it, and she kind of has like a whispery voice.
Yes.
And again, drives me cracked. I don't know why it is. I just have a thing about.
There's
when
a
I'm listening.
very
But she's an
narrow
excellent-
spectrum
I know,
there
and
where
she's an
you
excellent-
like voices. It's
she's
just
really
like has to be
good.
down the corridor.
She's a really good actress, but it is worth it. Trevor Eve is in it, and there's a lot of good cast.
Have you
in
thought
that as
about
well.
using mute and just putting on the
I
subtitles?
know. I love to think about it, but it is very good if
Things that
people are.
There's things that irk us about stuff.
I know,
right.
it is. It's terrible.
We shall. The Night Agent season 2.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
The Night Agent 1, the season 1 was a good show.
Yes, it was.
I'm disadvantaged, and I can remember bits of it. I don't remember the storyline.
And you haven't seen season 2?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So, as I understand it, season 1 was based on a novel, a 2019 novel by Matthew Quirk. I don't believe there's any more novels. So I think what's happened now is the show has gone on with new material. But it's in good hands because Sean Ryan is the guy behind this show. He's the creator for television. Sean Ryan started on Angel many years ago, and his biggest show which I loved, was The Shield, which was about corrupt cops, and that ran like 6-7 seasons, and it was an excellent show. Yeah. Since then, he's kept very busy with shows like SWAT, which I have not seen. I know, Fanula, you've said it's not that good a show. I remember I was sort of enthused one time.
David Brands is in it from Angel, and I kind of
There's a connection. Okay, so that's connected. Okay.
It's I don't know if he was in it from the beginning which is what brought me to. It's a procedural
kind of show, yeah. And it's run now. I know it's
Sorry, I've watched The Night Agent. I thought this was before you go on.
Yeah.
What's that film with the English actor? He works in a hotel somewhere. The Porter.
John Wick.
No, the
Porter Hotel.
No, it's the hotel inspector. The hotel.
I thought that's what this was about. Sorry,
Oh,
Night
no,
Agent 2. Yes, I have seen this. Sorry.
Oh, the Night Manager.
I thought it was the Night
Sorry.
Manager.
Oh,
the Night
yeah,
Agent.
that's cool.
No, I have watched season 2.
Season 2, yeah. Well, season 2 then extends the storyline. Sean Ryan, who has done other shows like SWAT, and he's also The Unit, Lie to Me, loads of things. So basically, for season 2, it's obvious that he's seen 24.
Yes.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
So he's borrowing heavily from the playbook of 24. I don't have a problem with that because I can recognise what he's doing. And it is like, my God, 25 years since 24 started.
Exactly.
That's crazy. But so you have a very similar situation for people who've seen 24. You've got an agent, and as the season progresses, I'm now one episode from the end of the season. You've got a situation where, of course, he's the only one who knows what needs to be done. And does that mean that he has to go off book, even so much that his own people are after him? Well, that kind of thing seems to happen a lot to secret agents and espionage agents.
Yeah.
It happens
or there's
a lot.
someone that needs them to operate outside of
to go outside. So he has to. So basically, you have a situation where it's about chemical weaponry, and some bad guys they set off to prove a point that the Americans were developing these things in secret, and the best way they feel to prove this is to steal the weapon and do very bad things with it. I'm going to keep it very vague. You don't need to know too much about the plot. You just need to know there are bad guys and there are guns and there are shootouts. And what I love about this show, and again, some of the plot mechanics I've seen before, but it does have a very good cast. And I really thought the characters were very well written. Even the bad guys, the show takes time to get under the skin of why certain characters have done certain things. So we'll say the protector for the main bad guy, we get into his story and his sister, who was the victim of a hit and run and has left her using a wheelchair, and he has done the things that he's done to get money to look after his sister. So it takes time to humanise the villains, and I think that pays dividends. But by and large, it's got a straightforward plot that you've probably seen before. It's got okay action sequences. I'm trying not to compare it to Reacher, because Reacher has much better action sequences.
Well,
but it has
certainly the most recent series.
Yeah.
I think
But
the
this
series
was
before
huge.
wasn't.
Season 2.
But what I don't understand about it is, because I thought it was fine for this kind of stuff, but on Rotten Tomatoes, 85% of critics liked it, and it's normally the other way around. 37% from fans,
That's
just
crazy,
regular
isn't it?
people. And that's with over 500 views. Now, I'm not sure it's been cancelled. I don't think there's anything woke in it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about it.
But I'm surprised by that.
It was Netflix's 6th most viewed series within a month of airing. So for Netflix, it is a massive hit.
Yeah,
Massive hit.
I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah, I think that I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm enjoying season 2. I thought the first couple episodes were a bit ropey, so I was like, they can't really. But by the episode 5, 6, 7, up to 8, 9, I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to find out. With these kind of shows, sometimes like, who's going to die? Yeah. You're like, who's going to die horribly? And the episode I watched last night, one of the characters died horribly because there's chemical weapons, and I was like, oh god, that's his fate. Okay, so now we've got to see who else survives, and I have it's very entertaining, and I'm excited to finish it this weekend.
A lot of people reviewing it, regular people, said that they didn't care who died. That
fair enough.
They didn't really care about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that resonates with you.
Well, I do care about them. So the character that was killed off last night, I had got invested in his arc. But I can see how maybe it mightn't get under the skin of some viewers. Yeah, I can see that. But it works for me. It definitely works for me. Okay. It's in my wheelhouse. I kind of like these kind of shows. Like, I like a good, straightforward action-y show. I like action shows.
If you went straight to the reviews, you wouldn't watch this. And I don't think that's because it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I think often, if you watch all the reviews, they're comparing season 2 to season 1. But, you know, as soon as you take, like, say, it's like Designated Survivor. Once you sort of step outside of the initial premise, you have to go somewhere else, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's an issue with this. They've had to run with it because the initial premise was very strong. He was a nobody agent. He was in a phone and a room answering phone, and they've had to expand. I mean, you can't do that forever. He has to become a more straightforward agent. I'd probably give it like a 7, 8 kind of rating, which is fine. I'm giving it a thumbs up. I like it.
Perfectly.
Yeah, and you kind of in the same.
You just chew through it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really remember how it ended. No, I couldn't watch it again. I would remember, but you know what I mean?
I know
it doesn't live with me long.
Would you watch? Here's the last question: would you watch a season 3 if it comes out in 18 months?
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's fine. It was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because you know, particularly in winter time, you can block these things off and get through them very quickly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with more with Michael and Fanula after these.
Hoka, the brand that has changed running shoes at Brian McCormick Sports. The ultra-cushioned game changer, Bondi 9, will give you a soft and bouncy transition from heel to toe. Enjoy the increased stack height with a new premium midsole. Look the part, play the part. In-store and online. Click on bmcsports.ie.
The Balmoral Show is back and bigger than ever. Come and join farmers, foodies and families for 4 fun-filled days at the Icon Exhibition Centre, Lisburn from the 14th to the 17th of May. With the return of the JCB Dancing Diggers, buzzing children's area and delicious local food and drink, the big show has something for everyone. Don't miss the agri-food event of the year. Join the fun at the Balmoral Show, sponsored by Ulster Bank from the 14th to the 17th of May. Book your tickets online now at balmoralshow.co.uk. See you at the show.
For expert advice to help you feel well and stay well, call to our friendly team at Brennan's Pharmacy Letterkenny. Choose from quality nutritional ranges like NutriBurst, Dr. Claire and Together Health. Easy free parking across from Costa at the New Dunn stores. We want to help you live well and stay well at Brennan's Pharmacy Letterkenny. We're here for you.
Celebrating 50 years, McDade's Bathroom Plumbing Tiles in Buncrana continues to be Donegal's go-to destination for stunning bathroom makeovers. With a vast selection of premium tiles and bathroom products, our showroom is your ultimate one-stop shop for crafting the perfect space. We've earned our reputation through expert advice, unbeatable prices and a dedication to customer satisfaction. Visit our showroom in Cockhill and Buncrana and see why we've been Donegal's top choice for 50 years and counting. Call us at 07493 63050.
Imagine a wedding venue that can be hired exclusively for you and your guests. Picture stunning views overlooking one of Donegal's most scenic beaches, an authentic country manor as your accommodation, incredible glass-fronted marquee views all day, and a team of experts who want to help you plan every step of the way. Sounds too good to be true? Not at Drumhalla House in Rathmullen. It really has to be seen to be believed. Visit drumhallahouse.ie or check out Drumhalla House on Instagram for more details.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
It is 22 minutes past 11. Welcome back to the 9 till noon show. It's the last hour of the week, so we're talking all things frivolous with Michael Leddy and Fanula.
Frivolous is my middle name.
Exactly.
I take my TV watching very seriously.
Well, you shouldn't. I would suggest, and we'll have more from you in a moment. We have Bernard Devaney, director of the drama comedy Bisha. Good morning to you, Bernard. How are you keeping?
Good morning, all. Yeah, I'm keeping well. Thank you very much.
Very good. Talk to me about Bisha.
Well, Bisha is a play that we're going to be showing tonight in Anagra in Schiphol Football. It involves, there's 9 actors in it, and the duration is about 45 minutes or so.
And the storyline, Bernard?
The storyline, well, I don't want to give too much away,
Well,
but
don't.
it's a comedy.
I trust you. You directing it. Come on, Bernard.
Well, it's a comedy based on a ward in a hospital where an individual gets getting knocked down by a car, but he's fine. But he has this idea that he would like to put in a false claim to get some money, but he ends up with nothing. So that's basically, in a nutshell, and a lot of things happen in between, like as this is going on.
And there's some great people involved, and people will see them on the stage tonight, Bernard.
There are a lot of them that have been on TV before, and the likes of T.G. Carr shows, the likes of C.U. Byrne, Barney Bunyan, FFC, actors that are well established, So yeah, I'm delighted that they've come on board to do this play.
Yeah, indeed, and it was written by who wrote this play? Sorry, and how long is it? Is this its first performance, Bernard?
No, this actual play was written by Neil McCafferty, who plays John Joe in Ross na Ruin.
Right.
Now, he wrote this play about a long time ago, but I seen it years ago, and I asked him if I could have the lend of it. He says, of course, no problem at all. He says, but you probably will have to modernise it a wee bit because it's been something like 20-odd years since it was done. So, yeah, I took the play and got the actors and, just tweaked it a wee bit here and there where it needs to be modernised a wee bit for today's age,
All right.
So, yeah, and I asked him would he take part in it, and he was more than happy to take part in the play as well, so which I'm delighted about.
God, he trusts you, doesn't he? Not only is he allowing you to use his work, modernise it, and be directed by you, so he's got a lot of faith in you, and why not, Bernard? It sounds like it's going to be a great show. It's in the People's Barn in Anagree this evening. Doors at 7:30, and it's only a tenner to get in. Where else would you get it?
Exactly. That's. And I mean, like we're kind of trying to establish the place that we're holding this play. It's Schiphol Football. It's a new place, and this might be, hopefully, will be the start of more things to come. In the sense of plays and stuff like that, and maybe develop it more so that we can have the likes of classes for kids and stuff like that through drama and all that. So hopefully this is the beginning of something good, hopefully.
Well, keep us involved in the journey if we can help at all, Bernard. Thank you so very much, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Slán.
Thank you.
Slán Majin Way. That's Bernard Devaney. That show is tonight in the People's Barn in Anagree. Doors open 7:30. Tickets are just a tenner, and it's not a big long sit either, but some fantastic actors in it and some few famous faces that you would have seen. Right, Thunderbolts, you've both seen this. Asterix.
Asterix.
I don't know, let's just work
That Asterix is important.
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to go first? Will I go first? So this is the new Marvel film. I've seen it 3 times this week, Greg.
Okay.
That's the end of my review. You don't need to hear any more from me. This is about a team of misfits that come together in a time of crisis. It's easily one of the very best Marvel films. And I've been told I say that a lot, but I do mean it this time. There's a lot of layers to this. It's been extremely well received. It's got 88% from critics, 94% from audiences. It's about people who are dealing with different issues of mental health. The people who made this show are coming from very acclaimed projects. The director comes from a TV series I've not seen, but I've heard a lot about, called Beef, about a road rage incident. It was one of the big shows of the last couple of years. It got a lot of awards. And one of the writers is the writer and co-producer of The Bear, which is a show very dear to my heart. It's one of the best TV. In fact, I always give it 10 out of 10. I just love The Bear. I think it's an exceptional show about the place, the restaurant in Chicago. So the caliber of the people making this film, those 2 people are new to Marvel. Although it's now been announced the director of this film is basically the director now. It's not signed, but he's going to direct the first new X-Men movie of Marvel Studios. So he's definitely going to be around with Marvel for a while. The co-writer of this has written a lot of Marvel projects, including Black Widow, which this is basically a sequel to. And there's not a lot for me to say beyond that. It's about a team of misfits, but what's different about this team is they're all villains. Or at least they do villainous things in secret. They're like people who work for Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character. Florence Pugh is fantastic in this. Lewis Pullman, the son of Bill Pullman, is fantastic in this. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I adore from Seinfeld and Veep, two shows that I not only love but rewatch a lot. I'm rewatching Veep again at the moment. I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus is incredible. She does a lot of heavy lifting in this film. I mean, it's real dramatic stuff. I just love her so much, and I love seeing her do this kind of work. And I was watching her on Jimmy Kimmel, and she seems to love this, and she'll be around for a while in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
she said
there's
herself.
a lot of big names.
Big names in this. David Harbour is excellent as well. They're really strong cast.
Just over 2 hours. It's not a long sit either.
No, it's not.
If you take out the long introductions and
the last thing I'll say about this, and then I'll hand over for it, is there've been 2 Marvel films so far this year. Last year we only had 1 Marvel film, so this year we're having more. The one we had about 6 weeks ago was Captain America, and it was a much leaner, much more straightforward action film. It's a very different type of film. Hand on my heart, I probably prefer Captain America because it's a straightforward actiony thing. It's almost like the Night Agent. It's in my wheelhouse. This isn't like that, but I do recognise that it's a much, much, much better film. You know, it does have action, but there's a lot of heart, I think, in this film.
All right.
Okay,
and
Fionnuala?
is that what you want from your Marvel shows?
I mean, I do. Yeah, that's a great question.
What,
yeah.
What I liked about it was, and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, but I'm in it for for the whole thing. I've never really read a comic book in my life, but I really like the kind of bigness of these movies. You know, the way when you see like an Iron Man, or you see, one of the best movies.
Cinema films.
Oh my God. And like one of the best movies ever made is Thor Ragnarok. It's just amazing.
Completely agree.
Everybody should see Thor Ragnarok. It's just amazing.
It's a fantastic film. Yeah.
Story and everything in it. But anyway, so
I'm smiling even thinking of it. It's some of the stuff.
It's funny. It has everything in it. But this is, for the last couple of years, as Mike said, they didn't really have many movies last year, but what they've done is they've done the TV shows.
Yes.
And it's like they've been moving from one, they do these universe things that they say, and they kind of have times that they're doing. This is finally, to me anyways, it felt like this is finally the start of the culmination of all of those different TV programs and things that they've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years, and it finally looks like it's going to start paying off back into new big movies and stuff like that again, which is really what I like. Some of the TV programs were brilliant. Some of them I felt were a bit hit and miss.
Secret Invasion was not good.
Some of them were kind of good, were great, but with this, you can kind of jump into the universe now if you want to with this. If you had to have any context with it, but I think you could nearly start off without it.
You could.
It would be that you might watch Black Widow or something like that as the one before, because Florence Pugh is kind of the main central character in this.
Yes,
and
she
that's
is
where
big
she
time.
originated
It's her
from.
story,
As Michael said, all of these people showed up in previous movies or the previous TV programs that they've done as the
villains,
bad guys, but bad guys with the background. Whereas now what they're doing is they're
like
kind
one of them
fleshing
was the
out.
villain in the second Ant-Man film way back in 2018, and she was the main
but
villain.
more with the stories, you know, the way with some of the ones before, people were just kind of villainous, whereas now they've kind of given them a bit more background as to how they ended up in the situation that they're in. But
and there's a redemption arc thing going on. Big redemption arc. Can these characters? It's like Angel. Remember Angel? Of course, the big thing about Angel's TV show, I love Angel, was the redemption arc.
Yeah.
Can he be redeemed? Can he redeem himself for what he's done?
Think that's why I think a lot of people who may not necessarily like the comic book movies might like this a bit more, because it's not just the blowing up stuff.
Okay, is it the new Avengers then? Is that what they're doing here?
Well, it's heading in that direction, I would say, that at least either some or part
Thunderbolts
of.
is not the name. That's why there's an asterisk. There's like a reveal at the end.
I think over the next, like as Michael said, the Fantastic Four movie is supposed to come out.
About
there's supposed to be
6
another
weeks.
one.
6 weeks time.
Yeah, there's supposed to be
They're
another
supposed
one.
to be making these films constantly. It's like just
yeah,
all
they
the
take
time.
forever to
Yeah.
make. Sure, they take years to make them.
But there was only one last year, so we have 4 this year. I think we have another one in November as well. Yeah.
Right,
when they'll all
so
come
Fionnuala,
together.
your rating of Thunderbolts asterisk.
Yeah, I really liked it. I have to say, I think I'd give it an 8 or a 9. It definitely was
And
in my
it's
top
10.
9 or
6.
10, 10 for me. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
and
seen
I
it.
think-
I may go tonight to see it a 4th time. I just love it. I really love it.
I wouldn't go that.
I was
crack
listening to
with
the
it.
soundtrack walking up the hill.
But I do think if you
I
are,
would love to care about anything.
You always say
as
that.
much as that.
I think
And I mean family, money, car.
breathing in and
I'm
out.
on about empty breathing existence.
I know. But I look, if anybody is looking to drag you to it, this, you know, the way if you have a Marvel person who says, "Oh, come," and you're always saying, "Oh God,"
If
do I
you
have
don't
to?
have a
This-
Marvel person, I'm available over tonight.
This is the
Sunday.
one-
Rent a Marvel. It's a new
This is
business.
the one.
Rent
This
a
is a
Marvel
good one. This is
pal.
a good one to start you off on, and then you call us and we'll talk you through the last 23
Brilliant
movies.
stuff. Well, listen, if you're looking for a big film that's got broad appeal, both Michael and Fionnuala rating it extremely highly, it has to be said. It's Thunderbolts and it's a cinema, and it sounds like it's a proper popcorn and drink film on the big screen with all
We
the
really
sounds
enjoyed
and
it.
all
We
that
just
kind
we
of
had
stuff.
fun. We had fun talking about it afterwards. didn't we?
Lovely. Back with more from you guys after these.
If you are a victim of domestic violence, help and support are available. We spoke to Niamh from the communications team in Kewen about the state and non-state support in Donegal available to victims of domestic, sexual and gender-based violence.
There are 2 national helplines for victims of domestic violence. One is Women's Aid on 1800 341 900, and the other is the Male Advice Line for male victims of domestic violence on 1800 816 588. For victims of sexual violence, the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre runs the free phone 24-hour National Rape Crisis Helpline on 1800 778 888. There are a range of state services available to victims of domestic and sexual violence, including An Garda Síochána, the Court Service and the Legal Aid Board.
For Donegal support services, go to alwayshere.ie/Donegal.
I love how you leave me a little card telling me you've dropped by. And I know that you'll always drop back in person. You're so thoughtful.
TV licence inspectors are calling now. You don't have to love it, but you do have to pay it. It's the law. Get your TV licence now at tvlicence.ie or at any post office. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Are you renovating your home or moving house? Either way, it may require a clear out. Before you fill your skip with items you no longer need, think circular and ask yourself, can the item be reused, given to family or friends, recycled, donated to charity, or even sold? So think before you skip it. Go to mywaste.ie for help and suggestions on how to do a clear out in an efficient and circular way. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Massive savings at Doherty Super Value Carndonagh. Aller Butcher's Counter. Fresh Irish pork loin, better than half price. Irish chicken fillet portions, 550 gram, only €5. 7-Up, Club Orange and Pepsi, 3 for €4. Real rewards, real value at Doherty Super Value Carndonagh.
Join the Highland Radio Outside broadcast team this Saturday at Carrigard Pharmacy as they celebrate 25 fantastic years. Jimmy Stafford will be live from 12 noon and there's plenty happening in store with 15% off all front of shop purchases, free raffles and complimentary refreshments. Don't miss the fun this Saturday from 12 till 2 p.m. Live from Carrigard Pharmacy with Jimmy Stafford on Highland Radio.
All right, so you can listen to Jimmy Stafford blow smoke up the backside of Carrigard tomorrow from 12. And we're also linking in to the motor show down at the ATU. And then, of course, we have tomorrow evening full match commentary, the build-up to Donegal versus Armagh in the Ulster final. I just don't know which way it's going to go. We all know which way we'd like it to go, but it's just going to be one of those games. And hopefully Jimmy finds a way. Are Donegal going to beat Armagh? Let me know. 086 60 25,000. So as I say, we've got Jimmy in Carrigard tomorrow as well. And we'll be linking in, I believe, to the motor show. We are, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We are, yeah. Okay. I just didn't get any documentation into it. What else is on? Well, good luck to all at Tata. They're taking part in a sleep out tonight, much appreciated from all at St. Colum's Kills Hostel. They're raising funds awareness for St. Column Kills Hostel, and I believe then the Tata crew are going to go on and take part in Darkness into Light. Get the Donegal flags out, folks. Good luck to our ladies and men on Saturday. Hup Donegal, that's right. The curtain raiser for that game is the ladies' game. I've my flags out, so I can actually read those messages out and not feel bad. A charity night organised by Musical Memories Choir in Greencastle tonight. It's a native Greencastle Community Centre and the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. The event is in the Greencastle Community Centre at 7:30pm. Tickets are currently available from the post office in Moville in Greencastle, and the last remaining tickets will be available on the door, €10 a ticket. Acts on the night will be by Charles James and the Rise. Fantastic. Patsy Kavanagh, writer of Home to Donegal, Musical Memories Choir, Inishowen Gateway Singers, Moville Community College Choir, and Michaela Harkin, Glow Cheer 2025 contestant. It's such a privilege to be able to sit here and promote these great events that are taking place around the place. And Highland Radio will be broadcasting live links between 10 and 12 tomorrow with Rory Farrell on Rewind from the Letterkenny Motor Show. There'll be interviews with some of the local dealers discussing the new models of cars on show tomorrow. The weather's to be good, so why not look for a new car at, someone's written here, look for a new cat at the Letterkenny Motor Show. I presume it's cars. Family Fun Day from 10 o'clock to 4pm tomorrow. Did you write this? Well, why would I be looking out for cats at the motor show? Yeah, you're sacked. You're sacked.
2 for 1.
Do I have the authority? Can I sack her?
Well,
I'll re-employ you in 10 minutes. My local Super Value in Bella Buffet have tickets on sale from 12 to 8. 12 today for the match tomorrow. You have to go into store to purchase them. Might help some people looking for Donegal tickets. That sounds good. And I've had a personal request, and I talked about this a little earlier on, but this is one I can't refuse. If anyone has 2 adults and a child seated ticket for tomorrow night, if you could give me a call here at the station, it'd be very much appreciated. So it's 2 adults and 1 child ticket seated. Now, I know they're like hen's teeth, which presumably means hens don't have teeth.
That's right.
Do they not have teeth?
That's right. Yep.
Do they
Michael
suck?
grew up on a
They
farm.
just suck stuff. Did you? Is that in Leitrim? Was it?
What?
Farm did you grow up in?
I grew up on a farm in Leitrim, yeah.
You in Leitrim? See, I knew that.
I knew that, yeah. I did.
In Kinloch, like, was it? Was it?
It's Piers Brosnan is in the room. Oh my God.
Is it
Bigara?
Bigara. We said Bigara at the exact same time. Right, let me see.
Oh, one more thing on at
Yes,
the weekend.
go ahead.
Michael's play is on at the
Oh,
weekend.
yes.
His
Tomorrow.
Well, I was
award-winning
going to
play.
save the best for last.
Oh, I apologise.
nicely done.
I
Well
apologise.
saved.
I've jumped
Yes.
Go
the gun.
ahead.
Cider Park is on tomorrow night.
Where is it on?
It's on in Greenlawn Theatre at 8:30. We pushed it back a little bit, obviously, because there's a clash with some big event that's happening that everyone's excited about.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We've had a show during the week. We were up in Gweedore at the start of the week, and we're down in Athlone. The reason the show has been brought back is we were asked, as the All-Ireland winners of 2024, we were asked to go down for the 3-act drama festival, which is in Athlone throughout the week. So it's kind of a thing that the winner of the one act gets brought down. So we brought it back for a couple of shows. We started on Wednesday. Second show is tomorrow night. Tickets are selling. Everybody's excited to see it again, and some people that missed it the first time for various reasons will get a chance to see it tomorrow night at 8:30.
Does everyone just get back into the zone straight away?
They did. They were really. I was wondering that too. We started rehearsals about a month ago. We met on one of the bank holiday Mondays. We have a lot of bank holiday Mondays this time of year.
Well,
a lot of them.
Let's not.
I'm not complaining,
Let's not
but I'm saying we have a lot of them, and we have more. So one of those bank holidays, and going to the lads are fantastic. I mean, these are accomplished actors, accomplished directors in their own right, whatever. So they came to the table, and they were pretty much on. It took about a week, but yeah, they were really
Still
on point.
actually more
on
effort
point
than I expected.
And that's 6 months
That
on.
makes sense,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I can't remember.
I just thought it would be
6
maybe
days ago
one
when it was
run
just-
through,
Yeah.
and then but no, it
Oh,
just
no,
goes
they-
to
they
show the
put the effort
commitment.
in,
It
like,
really
and
is
yeah.
it really is a heavy commitment getting involved in the
God.
arts like
Oh
that. isn't
Lord,
it?
it really is. Yeah.
Let us
So much
go
great
to we did Thunderbolts. Running Point with Kate Hudson on Netflix, Fanula.
Oh, well, again, I just throw this out because it is a half-hour comedy. So I'm always looking for my half-hour comedies.
Kate
that
Hudson?
I like. Kate Hudson, who I've never seen her in this type of a thing before, is in this very nice comedy. It's on in Netflix. It definitely is going to get a second series. So again, another good thing.
Highly rated,
recommend.
yeah.
It really has been highly rated. Now it has some great cast kind of dropping in and out of it. The basic story is that Kate Hudson's family own a basketball team in America, so it's a huge multi-million dollar organisation. She's always kind of been shunted to one side. The brothers, the father kind of felt the brothers were the ones to be running it and that kind of thing, and she was kind of pushed to one side as being, pretty and nice and sort of sit in a corner, and then the opportunity comes for her to take over, and so it has that kind of funniness of the errors that she makes as well as, but it actually has a lot of heart in that, and Kate Hudson is very good in it, and I'm always a bit. She kind of shows up in stuff rather than anchors things.
Is she a musician, really, primarily? No, not Kate Hudson. No, she's an actor. I'm confusing her with someone else.
Yeah, no, Kate Hudson is Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Yeah.
She
was a rom-com
queen. She was in
for
Glass
long.
Onion, and she was in that kind of thing. Yeah,
rom-coms were a lot of rom-coms. Yeah,
yeah,
and she was good. I mean, I was never crazy.
Yeah, she was fine.
She
was fine in it.
I just didn't know she was doing a con. This actually sounds.
No, she's actually also a singer. Sorry, I actually just knew her as a singer.
Oh really? I didn't even know she did the singing.
Did not know that.
No, Kate. I think she's pretty well known. I doubted it myself there, but she is foremost an actress now, an actor.
Yes. Okay, didn't know. It's like Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is a very good singer. I like her albums, but a lot of people don't know that she's a singer.
I did not know that about Kate Hudson. Yeah. But this is definitely worth, if you're looking for something that's that kind of,
what's
nice,
the name again?
Relaxed,
Running
Point.
Okay, that's actually of all the shows that people are recommending to me, and I'm blessed. I really am blessed. People recommend, but I actually think a comedy, is it a half hour?
Yep.
Okay, that may be something I'll dive into. Yeah. Good. Kate Hudson comedy running. Okay.
Yeah, it's a comedy, but it's kind of done. There's no kind of like tinned laughter.
Yeah, it's not a laugh track thing. Yeah,
it's a comedy drama kind of
like The
thing,
Office. It's one camera. It's not a multi-cam in front of it. It's not Big Bang Theory.
No, it's not like that. No.
It sounds okay. Sounds worth checking out. And I like Greg Hughes.
That is on Netflix, and those little shows are handy to slot into your day.
Yes,
especially I think when it's brighter later and the light's coming in and you don't feel you can.
We've had that conversation. We've had that conversation. I'm like you. I'm the same. Yeah, I'm less inclined to. I don't want to.
I love a half hour when you come home from work. Sometimes you just want that kind of switch off for half an hour, get the brain back into.
Well, I find that really, it's so bright and the weather's so good. Even Hudson's only 4. It's hard to get him down before 9. Like, he's very good.
Yeah,
but by the time you do, then it's 9:30. Even an hour and a half film brings you up to 11.
Oh, yeah. No.
I'm sure you early start as well.
I'm sure my situation is similar to many others. Okay. We have much more coming from Michael and Fanula. Well, when I say much more, we've got our last quarter. That's coming up after we take this short break.
Get ready, Donegal. The Letterkenny Motor Show is back, happening Saturday 10th of May from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the ATU campus. See the latest new cars and vans from 11 local dealerships showcasing 20 top motor brands all in one place on one day. Brought to you by your local franchise motor dealers, it's a day to celebrate driving, style and innovation. With entertainment and fun for the whole family, this is one show you don't want to miss. Proudly supported by First Citizen Finance, Letterkenny Chamber, the Society of the Irish Motor Industry and Britain Insurance. Visit letterkennymotorshow.ie for full details.
A water conservation order is in effect from May 6th for 6 weeks in the Milford area to safeguard the water supply for essential purposes. This order follows many months of dry weather, putting the water source under stress. Please do not use a hosepipe or sprinkler and conserve water wherever you can. Together we can safeguard our water resources. Learn more at water.ie/WCO. Ishka Erin, delivering water services for Ireland.
Summer is just around the corner and it's now time to shop for your dream garden furniture at Easy Living Furniture. We've got a huge range of garden furniture and accessories at unbeatable prices. And if that's not enough, we'll throw in free delivery on all garden furniture. Transform your garden or patio for the ultimate al fresco dining experience. Don't miss out. Come in today to grab these incredible deals before they're gone. Only at Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link, Derry, Londonderry.
Says Mr. Brennan. Normally I'd wax lyrical about this kind of thing, but today, well, just listen. That's the sound of freshness, you see, because it's our lovely wrinkly wax paper that keeps the freshness in. I wish my wrinkles were a sign of freshness, as I. Brennan's. Today spread today.
Do you sometimes struggle to hear? It could just be earwax and it's easily treated. Hidden Hearing right now are offering free earwax removal for everyone over 60, carried out by our qualified earwax technicians. Call 1-800-370-000 or go to hiddenhearing.ie. Hidden Hearing, your hearing is our expertise. T's and C's apply.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Largely dry with long spells of sunshine. Some patchy cloud will develop through the day, and there is a wee risk of a few showers, though temperature is 16 to 20 degrees, and as usual it's a little cooler near some coasts in a light breeze, and it's just one of those quirks of the weather that the west coast is getting warmer weather than the east coast. Right, okay, so that last show Fionnuala was talking about, a few people rang, and it was Running Point, a comedy on Netflix with Kate Hudson. Both Michael and Fionnuala have raved about the cinema show. It's on in the cinema at the moment. Thunderbolts, and Michael Leddy, a big fan of The Night Agent, season 2, available to stream now on Netflix. Don't go far, it's a podcast, Michael.
Yes, I love this story. This is a straightforward 45-minute RTE podcast, and I listened to it a while back, but it's a story that I kind of knew, and I would say the story that probably you guys would know as well. And it's like a real feel-good, enjoyable sort of, and apparently it's one of the most popular podcasts that RTE's documentary on one has ever done. In 1985, two young lads, one was 10, yeah, you know this story, one was 10, one was 14, and they were streetwise kind of guys. Keith Byrne is the guy who's featured in this show. He's interviewed, reminiscing about this adventure. And they were streetwise young Dublin lads, you know, I mean, who would hop about. They were free during the summer days, go into the city, bit of shoplifting here and there, you know, a bit of ducking and diving, hopping on the Dart, and, you know, getting quite adventurous, and even heading over to England on the ferry and getting back, all without their mother knowing. This 10 and a 14-year-old. So on this particular day, anyway, they ran away. The dinner was in the evening. The mother says, don't go far. That's the name of the show. And they decided to just see where they could end up, and they wound up in New York City. And this is the story of how they went bit by bit and who they met along the way. It got to England, stayed overnight, happened to just get on an escalator, asked some fella, Mister, where is this? Well, heading to New York. They got through, these were different times, I'll tell you. They got through a lot of security points by just simply saying, oh, Mammy's coming with all the things. And they got to run on, and it's absolutely, it's lovely. It's an adorable story.
Like a real life adventure.
A real life adventure, and you can't help but be captured. I'm surprised it hasn't been dramatised.
I know, I thought that as well.
I'm surprised it hasn't been dramatised. Like that, there's a film in this, but Keith is the only one who's interviewed in this. He says himself that the two lads are no longer close and they don't refer to whatever. But Keith tells his story, and you hear, and it's wonderfully produced. I mean, and it's so evocative. It's amazing what you can do with radio.
Did anything come from it for him? You know, I mean, was this just a period, like a crazy adventure, or did it lead on to other stuff?
No, that's basically it. By all accounts, he's just living
I'm
a
instantly
very
fascinated as to why they're not close anymore. But
yeah, I know. Yeah,
maybe
well,
they just took
there was a
different paths.
4-year age. I don't know, and it's not really alluded to. So
Yeah,
I don't
okay,
know.
that's fine. Yeah.
But anyway, this is a charming 45-minute listen. I actually listened to it twice. Once one day when I was out walking, I had it on. I put it on again, and I had listened to it one evening at work.
It's not a series either. It's
no,
just
it's
a one
very
show.
straightforward,
Okay.
and it's such a cool story. And you do kind of get caught up in the magic. You're like, wow! And they just walked through this desk, and they walked through this, and they only tripped up because in New York City they went up to a policeman to look for directions into town. How do you get into town, mister? And that was the first. He was the first one who said.
Mistake.
He was like, hold on a second, where did you come from, little boy?
No nothing.
Utterly charming, very amusing, and I think it speaks to the kid in all of us where you kind of think, wow, imagine doing that at 10 or 14, just going.
Well,
Wouldn't
there's
happen now.
nostalgic innocence to it.
There's
kind
perfectly described, nostalgic innocence. And again, why is this not being dramatic? This is a film that you would see like a Christmas film or something, or a film like two young lads heading off. It would be a hit.
But often maybe that these things come from the documentary because it's who knows about the story. And it just takes the right
I was
person
not
to hear
streetwise.
about it.
I'm listening to these guys. We used to
from a farm in Leitrim where you streetwise.
Were you streetwise? You were.
No, I
you
was,
totally.
I'll tell you what,
you totally
I was
were.
very country wise. If
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, fishing, trees, hills.
Yes, I'd be the same,
boats,
yeah. Up in the
anything like
Like these
if
lads
a
were-
townie came out to like they would think I was Bear Grylls. But but conversely, if I went into town, I'll think, oh, there's too many people here. I don't like this. What do I do? Why are they all so cool? Why are they smoking?
Okay.
So no, I would have been country wise, but not street wise.
Yeah.
I don't.
But these lads had no problem like
been friends with either.
But I think
stealing
because
things.
we were
duty free was just like it was just like we'll
But
sell
because
that.
we were so, because we had so much freedom, and maybe that's because we were in the country, but because we had so much freedom, I'd imagine if we were raised in a city with the same attitude, I would have been street wise.
Yes,
if that
I know
makes
what you mean. I
sense.
totally agree with you.
Because
yeah, yeah.
like the freedom.
I never
we
thought about
had
that
is
before.
just
Yeah,
absolutely.
well, I had great freedom as well
Like,
on
I'm
the farm.
talking for like
You could
6
go.
a.m. till
Do what you want.
9 p.m.
Do what you want. Yeah, Yeah,
and
I had the
with
same.
no-
Yeah.
And we'd be going fishing, as I mentioned, maybe out in boats or kayaks or whatever, and there'd be no, don't do this and don't do that, and make sure
None
you
of
don't
that,
do this
yeah.
and you don't do that. Now we weren't, we were trustworthy.
Yeah.
But there was a great sense of freedom.
Yeah.
that
I'd be the s- yeah, I'd
not
jump the river,
I think
go up
it
the
might
hill,
actually
yeah.
be called. It might actually be called neglect nowadays.
Yes.
It might. It probably. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
God, it
it
probably
might
would
well
be.
be called neglect.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, you'd leave in the
No, but it
morning.
was
and-
freedom. Yeah, you just
But it's
leave
the
and go
opposite
to-
of neglect. Actually,
Yeah.
it just made you so much happier and.
And there was trust as well. There was just trust, and when you have trust as well, you carry that. It's not a burden, but you're aware of the fact that you're not going to,
But also too, in terms of engaging with strangers, there was no innocence. Like you would know the rights and wrongs, and if there was a situation that this is not really exactly perfect situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you felt uncomfortable in things, you knew when to
exactly.
get
So it
out of
wasn't
it.
as
and
if
different
it was a different world, and you'd run up and jump on strangers' laps and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was just all. There was world-wise and country-wise.
yes,
and all that.
country-wise is a good way of putting it.
The Ray Motke Historical Society in Manacunningham will host a talk by journalist and broadcaster Mary Hart from Rafo on Sunday, May 11th at 2:30 p.m. The talk's entitled A Journalist Working in the Troubles, where she'll reflect on her experiences working with the BBC Northern Ireland for almost 30 years, covering the Troubles and the transition through to the peace process. The venue for her talk is the Resource Centre, Main Street, Manacunningham, and everyone is welcome to come along. And there'll be tea and refreshments served afterwards. Now, Letterkenny University Hospital's annual Little Angels interdenominational service of remembrance. In other words, it doesn't matter what religion you are or none. It's for everybody. It takes place in Letterkenny on Sunday, the 11th of May. It's for families who have experienced the loss of a baby through miscarriage, stillbirth, or neonatal death, as well as for those who have suffered the death of a much-loved child. The hospital management staff and chaplains have extended a warm welcome to everyone to attend and pay their respects on Sunday, May 11th at 3 p.m. in Conwall and Lech Church of Ireland, Letterkenny. And it's one of those events whereby you have people that go every year. You have people that maybe had a recent loss and might attend, and then you've got people who've lost 5 or 10 years ago and they might attend for the first time because it's the right time for them. The event's for you anyway, and it's for everybody. And it's a remembrance to take place in Letterkenny on Sunday, the 11th of May. Right, other than continuously going to the cinema to watch the same film, have you any plans for the weekend? Other than your play as well
The
on
play
Saturday
tomorrow
night?
night will dominate Saturday. If I don't go to the cinema tonight, I may just watch a Starsky and Hutch and chill out and just be
What about you,
reminiscent.
Fionnuala?
Oh, I have some visitors coming. Very nice. Yes. My
Where are you gonna take
my
them out to
godchild
eat?
and my niece. Oh, we're well, hopefully I have to book it.
I just presumed
we'll
you
be
were.
going
I
down
just-
the tram.
I just
No,
presumed
we're
you
going to
weren't
go.
going to cook.
Well,
It's
oh
going to
God,
be fun
yeah,
because they
100%,
have
I'm not
like
going to cook. We're gonna-
127 things planned for tomorrow. Is
Oh yeah,
kind of what
they
you were
do.
telling me.
So we're going to
Everything.
we're going to go bowling tonight. They're very excited to go bowling tonight, and then tomorrow
What
we're going.
age are they now?
They're making their Holy Communion, so they're
a
both
good
8 and 9.
age.
Yeah,
that's a
so
good.
we're going,
They're good fun age. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going bowling tonight, and then tomorrow, my mother is obsessed with anytime the kids come up here, they have to go and walk with the alpacas.
Oh, yeah.
So we are going up to walk with the alpacas up in Malin.
Yes.
So that'll be our morning tomorrow. And then they have to go to the mall. Apparently, Letterkenny Shopping Centre was described as being the mall by my 8-year-old niece.
Well, you see,
she needs to go to the
that's just American programs. I've stopped correcting the trash in the sidewalk. I'm just around, okay, whatever. At least you're speaking.
And then if the weather stays nice, we'll be in Glenveigh and Ards and all that.
One of my housemates who is a gamer and he's obviously mixing it out, and he told me a few weeks ago the faucet upstairs was leaking.
The faucet. Right, okay.
Lord.
I know.
I would throw him out. Just a little bit of paperwork. Shannon, you're rehired. Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael,
she was out there biting her nails. Oh, what you gonna do?
Calling HR.
Yes, well, I've got grounds.